Ballon. Football over him. I mean, he has a clean chance. He has a clean chance. No, let me finish.
So those kind of stats piss me off when they come, you know, when they bring them up. It's just like, that's a jinx, man. Why do you have to talk about this now? But
keeping the injuries down. I know people have gone on about if we lose Lukaku, it could be a bit of a situation. I hope to God it doesn't happen that way, but I just don't know.
Kepa because he made the save. People would say Kovačić, he was okay. I mean, he done what Kovačić does, but
I fancy as well about they've never gotten relegated. What do you think about that?
Sergio,
Is that something you like?
Do you know what?
Diego Blackie was consistently performing for us season.
I think you're missing the point, man. I think you're missing the point.
He's gonna play as a 9. Kai is the second. We only have two main lines in the team.
Michael, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Mount, and Havertz if they blame behind the tackle. So the tackle's got to find the way.
If you have an agreement, that means there's a pre-contract or something that like we agree on this one. They just went to announce it. Let's just
but
that little touch, but listen, that little touch that he gets are more vital
to this particular style. Anyway.
Sorry guys, that was good connection.
Yo, welcome to the Blue Lounge, welcome back to the stream. We've been away for a couple of days, we've been away for a minute. I hope you guys are all doing good, I hope you guys are all in good health, in good shape. I've been a little bit unwell recently, but I'm back, I'm good, and I'm keen to start streaming again. International break, almost done. And before you guys ask, no, it's not a Movember thing. It's just a Baggy TV thing. Guys, big up to Alpha Kelly. And Alpha Kelly, you are not the first one in the stream because that was before the time we started. MCIG, big up to you. George, yeah, TCHOUAMENI, we'll see. Big up to you. Abdullah B, you are the first one because everybody else in the chat posted their message before we actually went live. So big up to Abdullah B. He gets the first prize. And then Shamak, big up to you. And Couch came in third. Couch got the bronze medal today. Big up to Couch. Dennis, P, MDT Mo. Big up to you. How you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing good.
Brilliant. I see CC in the chat. Big up to CC. Big up to you, my man. People, today we want to have a discussion. We want to have a discussion about a topic which isn't. It's not rumors. It's not hearsay. It's an opinion that is currently being discussed in the realms of social media surrounding Chelsea Football Club, and there's comparisons being drawn between two players that could, should, would join Chelsea Football Club, and it's TCHOUAMENI and Declan Rice. Two players that have been linked with Chelsea many a time over the past couple of transfer windows, and it's been dividing the fan base. Now the thing is this: the way we are going right now with the players that we have, with the emergence of Gallagher, with the return of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, with the potential that Gilmour has, and with the other players in the team, do we need to be looking at bringing in TCHOUAMENI or Declan Rice or a player of that caliber? Is that something we need to be looking at or not? Should we be looking at spending that much money to bring in someone from a different league to come and try to mix it up in the Premier League and potentially flop like we saw with Bakayoko from the same team in the past? Now, naturally, TCHOUAMENI has stats, has the potential, the ability. He has the what's the word here? The approval stamped on him by Cesc Fabregas, who saw him up close and personal, and he has, talked highly of him, spoken highly of him. So that is definitely a player that needs to be looked at. That is definitely a player that needs to be considered. Flip side, Declan Rice, proven in the Premier League, playing for West Ham, one of the better sides in the Premier League today. He's also a regular for the England national team. He's the captain of his team at a very young age. Former Chelsea academy player. But he also comes with a massive price tag, a hefty £100 million price tag. Now, we can knock that down a little bit, but it's still a massive price tag. Do we need to get this geezer through the door at Chelsea Football Club? Big question. Big question. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be addressing that here. I'm also inclined to play a video for you that Max Burton published today. And if you guys are not subscribers of Burton Ballers, you're missing out. You're going to see the quality and the analysis that this geezer has put into this video, where he compares Declan Rice and Tchouaméni. He goes through all their stats and gives you a comprehensive understanding of these two players. Naturally, there's other areas in regards to their play that needs to be looked at, but we'll be doing that on the stream. Also, there was a very frustrating story published regarding Mendy. It was actually published regarding Benjamin Mendy. But for some reason, it linked Edouard Mendy, a player who plays for a different national team, different club, different position. The guy has nothing to do with what that story was about. Not the same person and nothing to do with the story that was being reported on, and yet they had his face smack dab in the middle of that report. I'm going to be bringing you that story via Couch Critic, Dennis P. He will be addressing that story for us, and we'll also get into a discussion in regards to that story. And if anybody else in the chat wants to address anything after that, we will be looking into it and we will be discussing that further. But before we do anything, let me just bring up the video from the Burton Ballers. I'm not sure if Max is going to be on tonight. Hopefully he will be on. Because it's a good video, lads. It's a good video that you guys need to be seeing. Here we go. Sorry, lads, it's just running a little bit slow at the minute.
Of Burton Ballers, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Tchouaméni, because
Audio good,
we all
guys?
know that Chelsea
Audio
are interested in Tchouaméni. So there's been a lot of talk, because some Chelsea fans want Tchouaméni, other Chelsea fans want Declan Rice. So I'm going to be doing a head-to-head of Tchouaméni versus Declan Rice.
Welcome to the Burton Ballers. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah.
Alright, listen, before we go any further, just to be fair, because I'm using his work. This is Max Burton's work, yeah? So, to be fair, I'm going to put his channel link in the... Hold on, in the chat. I need to find it first. I'm doing it via a different screen. Where is it? There we go. People, do us a favor and click on this link. Click on this link, go subscribe to Burton Ballers, and come back. Great channel. And if you don't want to subscribe yet, wait till you finish watching this video, then you will want to subscribe.
So guys, in the news over the last 48 hours, it's been said that Chelsea and Real Madrid are going to be going head-to-head for Tchouaméni, with Chelsea in the driving seat at the moment because they've held extensive talks with Tchouaméni and his representatives, and he finds that the Chelsea project very appealing. So it looks like Chelsea may be going all out for Tchouaméni in the summer. So a lot of Chelsea fans, they're either on the Tchouaméni side or the Declan Rice side. For some reason, I'm not sure whether it's the English versus our overseas supporters, but for some reason, some people like Declan Rice and some people cannot stand Declan Rice. Some people love Tchouaméni, others don't like Tchouaméni. So there's a debate about which one would be the better buy for Chelsea. So I decided to go and look at their stats. So if we're looking at their stats at the moment, Declan Rice has played 163 career games, scoring a total of 7 goals. Tchouaméni, on the other hand, has played 102 games and he scored 6 games. If we break it down for league performances, Declan Rice has had 142 league appearances with 5 goals. And if we look at Tchouaméni in Ligue 1, he's played 76 league games and scored 3 goals. So Declan Rice is the more experienced of the two. Now let's do some more statistics. Let's break it down for their actual head-to-head. Right, I'm going to be using the FootMob ratings to compare the two players. And the FootMob rating, there's not a lot in between the two of them actually. 7.8 overall rating for Declan Rice, 7.5 for Tchouaméni. In the league this season, all games, I think Declan Rice has played 11 matches so far, Tchouaméni 12. 11 starts each. And the value, this is where it gets quite interesting. They value Declan Rice at 58 million and Tchouaméni at 28. But their clubs are asking for double because West Ham are looking at no less than 100 million pounds, and then I believe that 58 million pounds, I think it was, what Monaco are asking for Tchouaméni. So that's almost half of what West Ham want for Declan Rice. They have scored 1 goal each. I think what's his name scored more goals. I might be mistaken, but according to this, they scored 1 goal each. 3 assists for Declan Rice and none to Tchouaméni. Both of them have got 3 yellow cards, no reds, and even the minutes are quite identical, with Declan Rice playing just 17 minutes more than Tchouaméni. So if I go on to the next lot of statistics, looking at the passing between the two, chances created, Declan Rice has created 5 times more chances than Tchouaméni. He's created 15 so far to Tchouaméni's 3. And as I said before, he's got 3 assists to Tchouaméni's 0. And key passes, again, Declan Rice wins in this area. 12 key passes to Tchouaméni's 3. And accurate passes, look at that, identical, 589 accurate passes each. But Declan Rice has a better passing percentage, 92% to Tchouaméni's 87. Okay, so we're going to go to the shot accuracy. Declan Rice has got a 50% accuracy, whereas Tchouaméni has got a 25%. So Declan Rice doubles the shooting accuracy of Tchouaméni. Dribbles succeeded, again, not a lot in it. only 3 in it. Declan Rice comes out on top, 16 to Tchouameni's 13, with a success rate of 64%. But Tchouameni's got a better success rate actually, 72% of successful dribbles, and Declan Rice has got a 64% success rate. Key passes we've already gone through. Tackles succeeded, just 1 in it. And interceptions, Tchouameni comes out on top by 5, 26 to 21 for Declan Rice. So his anticipation of where the ball is slightly better than Declan Rice. So as you can see, head to head, these two guys are quite identical. If we forget the stats and do the eye test now, I think both of them have got a similar style of play. You know, they're both great in the tackle. They can both drive with the ball. They have got a good range of passes, short and long, both of them. I think Tchouameni is probably slightly more adventurous when it comes to his passing, but Declan Rice's passing is nothing to be sniffed at. So, but I think where Declan Rice has it slightly over Tchouameni is being a captain at such a young age at West Ham. He's showing great leadership qualities. Does Tchouameni have those leadership qualities? I'm not so sure at the moment. I don't know a lot about how strong his character is neither. I know that Declan Rice has got strong character. I know Declan Rice also, what he's got in as his advantage as well is that he's a Chelsea supporter. His family all support Chelsea, and being somebody who's in love with the club, that's something as a bonus, because you know that this player is going to want to probably stay with the club if they're successful. Whereas if we sign like a Tchouameni, would he want to move on to another club in a few years' time? This we don't know about. But, and this is where it comes in now of which one should we actually get? Okay, Declan Rice is slightly ahead on most of the stats that I've spoken about. But the price, if we, as I said before, if you look at the stats, there's not a great deal between the two players. So if you're looking at value for money now, you've got to be looking at Tchouameni, because Tchouameni, if we can get him for half the price that's been quoted for Declan Rice for a similar type of skill set of player, then to me, Tchouameni probably looks the better value for money. But again, it depends on what you did and what price for leadership skills, what price for loyalty, for playing for a club that you got blue, you bleed blue because you're a supporter of that club, and the joy of playing for that club and the effort that you put in with playing for that club, that's something that money can't buy. So it's a tricky one really. So when we're deciding who to go for, but I'll be happy with either of them, because I'm not one of these, I don't want Declan Rice because I want Tchouameni, or I don't want Tchouameni because I want Declan Rice. I'll be happy with either one that the club goes for. Maybe we can have both, because if we look at it, if we get Tchouameni in this season and Declan Rice plays out another season or two at West Ham, when his price would deteriorate and get lower, as his contract runs down, even if he's serious about playing for Chelsea, he may turn down offers from your Manchester Uniteds and Man Cities. If Chelsea have told him to hold tight, we'll come in for you at one point, then we may be able to get him at a cheaper deal. And when you look, Jorginho and Kante are quite, it's going to be the other side of 30. Kante's already over 30, and then Jorginho, by the time Declan Rice is ready to come to Chelsea, Jorginho may have gone to past his news, so we may have both of them as our double pivots. So, box clever, and we may get a good deal there for both. But if we can only get one, which one would you get, and what are your reasons for choosing that particular player? You go for Declan Rice, are you in that corner, or are you in the Tchouameni corner? Stick your comments in the section below. Love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Fantastic video by Max Burton. Lads, the link to that video is in the chat. The link to Burton Bowlers is in the chat. do us a favor, subscribe to the Burton Bowlers, and also check out that video at your own time, at your own leisure. Since that video was being played, we have 3 new panelists joining the stream. Big up to Jem, Boogeyman, and Bobby Smoke Signals. How you all doing?
Hey guys, big up. Good to see you better again, Mo.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I'm good. I thought Max was there talking. I didn't know you were playing.
Hey, listen. I'm just stealing his content, man. I'm just stealing his content. Big up, Jim. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright. Sorry, I can't be here too long because Turkey has started now as well, and everyone's downstairs.
Turkey, come on!
Listen,
Yeah.
I got to say something to you, Jem. Lawrence needs to put more respect on the Turkish league, man.
No, I know. Tell them about it, innit? Tell them about it, man. What's going on here, man? I'm not having it. I'm not having that. But no, I thought I'd just pop in quickly and see what's going on before I go.
Well, in that case, you can start us off, mate. You can start us off. I mean, do we need to buy a midfielder, considering what we have in the club already? And if we do, where would you go? Tchouaméni or Declan Rice, based on what you've seen and you've heard so far?
For me, it's too many, and I think it's quite easy. I mean, big up to Burton Ballers on that. That was quite a good breakdown. Just to give us a bit of an idea. I'm not going to lie, I'm not someone that's watched tons of too many and what I've seen, but what I have seen is enough for me to think, you know what, looking at the current players that we have in Jorginho, Kante, Kovačić, throwing him in the mix with them, getting the experience, learning to play with these individuals will only benefit him. And I think that if you go to look and bring in a Declan Rice, you have to accommodate him to start. And that means for me that someone has to leave out of them 3. Now, if we're going to get rid of N'Golo Kante and we're not going to extend his contract, then bringing in Declan Rice makes a lot of sense for me. Yeah. Not only just for that, but if we're going to change the formation, maybe Tuchel wants to do a different system next season. I don't know. He gives you that option to play that lone DM, which is what he's good at doing. But for 80 to 100 million, which is what West Ham are going to want, you've got to bear in mind, the last summer, they were banging on about 80 to 100 million for him. They're not going to budge. He's their best player. They're going to want to get their money on him. And he's playing very well at the moment, especially at West Ham. And I just think the Tchouaméni thing makes a lot more sense. And when I looked at the stats, I saw that he brought up about the key passes and the created chances and the goal scoring. Even though Declan Rice was superior to him on that, I'm not really looking at Tchouaméni to come in and do that anyway. That wouldn't be my ideal role of him doing that. I mean, key passes, yeah, to a degree, he can work on that. Still a very young player. But then you look at the pass accuracy and other bits and bobs, and it was very similar in comparison from what you're getting. Because Tchouaméni's going to be about 45 to 50 million they're talking about. We're still quite a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's not as much as 100, is it? Or 80 or 90. So, yes, Declan Rice is proven. Tchouaméni, for me, is a very good individual to come in and play with the other 3 for a season. But then it just goes back to what happens with Billy Gilmore and Conor Gallagher and all these others. And the short and easy answer for that one, for me, is you just let them boys continue doing what they're doing. Conor Gallagher's doing very well. Let him continue doing that. These guys are for the future. Tchouaméni is definitely one for the future. I'm not saying Declan Rice isn't. I agree with what he said about Declan Rice maybe coming later. But at the moment, it's too much. And his contract doesn't run out to 2025. So for me, it ain't going down anytime soon. You either let that contract die out a bit and then get him a bit later. Kovačić, Kante and Jorginho, they're not going to be around for ages. And I know Chelsea want to start building for the future, but I think we're going to have to do it in bits, if that makes sense, rather than just go bang, 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 bang. Defensively, I think it's more important for me, Mo. I think if Rudiger is going, we need to concentrate in the back. We need not 1, but 2 for me, because Thiago Silva, even though he's there, he's not always going to be there, So there's a lot that we need to think about. And on top of that, if Ziyech leaves as well, we're going to need a winger. So there's so much that I think we could do with more than maybe in the midfield at the moment. But bringing in a Tchouaméni now, if that's what we want, still makes sense. Ruben did kind of give us a bit of an issue in able to play in that 6 as well. But it's a good issue. So, if he wants to come to Chelsea and he's available, you go for him over Declan Rice, mainly more to do with how much he's worth. That is the difference for me.
Yeah. No, makes sense. It makes sense. And to be fair, I'm used to watching you and Couch on his channel. So I'm gonna hand over to Couch to see his response to this, just to keep
agrees with me.
Go on, Couch. What's your thoughts on this topic, mate?
Big up, fellas. Good to be here again. Interesting debate because both players have qualities that you'd both want on your side. Tchouaméni, his ball advancing, his composure in the midfield is also really good from what I've seen. And he seems like he's a little bit more versatile. He seems like a guy that can play 6'8", and if I'm not mistaken, Fabregas actually said he can play the 10 too, which means that he has a lot about him. But in the case of Declan Rice, I really do think that guy has qualities that can add to this Chelsea midfield as well, and not the least of which is his leadership and the way he speaks and whatnot. Like he really does command the midfield when he's out there. And if we're going to lose a guy like Jorginho at some point, you're going to want another general in there that's going to be able to dictate, speak to the men, and like rally them. And for that reason, I'm kind of torn between the two. I think that if I had to go on skills, I would probably take Tchouaméni. If I had to go with the overall package, somebody that could definitely walk into the squad and command presence, I would go Declan Rice. Jem's not wrong. The pricing is ridiculous. We're both, if all things are equal, both players are probably about 40 million pounds. Both players, in my opinion. That's probably about the right amount for me. And to hear that Declan Rice is they're asking 80 to 90 to 100 million for Declan Rice makes no sense to me. I don't see where the value is there. And again, just to piggyback on what Jem said, it doesn't make any sense when you know that our pressing needs are going to be in defense, potentially on the wing. Probably our midfield is probably the most complete position we have right now because we have guys like Ruben, we have Conor Gallagher that can come back in, we have Jorginho, we have Conte, we have Kovačić, we have guys there that we don't necessarily have to put emphasis there or spend overs to bring somebody in to help our midfield. So yeah, it would make sense on a dollar-to-dollar value to go with someone like Tchouaméni, but again, I don't know if you bring him in, if you get that same sort of bossy midfielder that, we potentially lose in somebody like Jorginho or something like that. So I just think we need somebody that's a little bit more vocal in the midfield in general. And it's kind of why I'm in between both. It's kind of why I'm in between both.
I mean, I hear you. I hear what Jim is saying. But like some of the guys in the chat have said, their stats are similar, but one is doing it in the Premier League and the other one is doing it in Ligue 1. So there's a difference in quality there in respect to where... so I'll just put you on mute there for a second, Couch. Yeah, cool. So there's a difference in the place they're applying their trade, and and that is why there is that price difference. And I think also the price difference reflects the need for West Ham to keep Declan Rice at the club and not allow him to be bought by a team like Chelsea, because they have ambitions and they want to have Declan Rice. They want to hold on to Declan Rice for as long as they can, and I think that also plays into the price, and also his desire to leave for particularly Chelsea. I'm going to give everybody a chance to give me their take on this, and then I'll open it for a discussion. I'm going to go to MDT. MDT, what's your thoughts on this?
Good afternoon, good evening, guys. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing brilliant.
With me, with both of these players.
Jim. Take care, brother. Thank you. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care, Jim.
See you later.
Yeah. For me, both of these players, I don't have much opinion that different from what Matt was saying. But when you look at them into details, like right now, what my worry is, is our midfield an issue? Because this summer, I think our defense, like last summer, it was the striking. This summer, if our defenders move, that's our priority. Because when I look at Declan Rice, for me personally, if we get him, we want him to play like what he's doing for England. That's what Chelsea is going to need him for. not what he's doing for West Ham. Because what he's doing for West Ham, that's what Conor Gallagher is doing for Crystal Palace. Okay, so he's not going to do that role. He's going to do what he's doing for England. Okay, for the job he's doing for England, is that worth 100 million? That's my first question. And secondly, when I look at this Chelsea team, I look at Declan Rice. His best quality is when you give him a freedom, like what he's given at West Ham team. I look at him more like he can play that role, but it's better when he played the Jordan Henderson role at Liverpool. And we need a Fabinho. Okay, Fabinho. For me, this guy like a Tchouaméni is more like a Fabinho role player, and Declan Rice is more like the Jordan Henderson role. And if that Jordan Henderson role for Chelsea, we have cover, we have Robin that can play it, we have quite a few players. So we need him to play that role he's playing for England. Is that role he's playing for England in a Chelsea team, is that worth 100 million? For me, that's the price. That's the price. And also another key factor about like when people said the Premier League is this and that, the Premier League is tougher than the French league. The French league is the most physical league in the whole of Europe. It's more physical. That's why French players always perform better in the Premier League than any other league, because of they're very, very good at that. If you check the Premier League record, yeah, but Bakayoko only spent one season here. So if you go by Bakayoko, what about Vieira? What about Kante? What about Makalele? The list goes on and on and on. French players always perform better in England. So, and also Chelsea have signed English players before. They were good players, they're not bad players. They came to Chelsea, but because we limit them, they have to play a specific role, they didn't perform. The players are not bad players. After they left Chelsea, they perform better elsewhere, and they get into the England team. A case in case is like Scott Parker was a star at Charlton. He came to Chelsea. Chelsea give him limited role. He couldn't do that job proper because he was limited. He went to Newcastle. He did well. He went to West Ham and won Player of the Year, Football Writers Player of the Year, and he went to Tottenham and helped them as well. So these are good players. They came to Chelsea, but we limit players. When a player comes to Chelsea, he doesn't have that freedom to do what he's doing at his former club. So for me, 100 million for that role is too much money. And 100 million is 25% of Chelsea annual revenue. Last year, annual revenue. So that's, how can you spend 25% of your annual revenue for a holding midfielder? Apart from that, if we can get him cheaper, I don't mind. But for me, I will go for Tchouaméni for the price.
But Mo, that wouldn't be spread over 1 year, though. That would be spread over the length of the contract.
Right? Yeah. But what I mean, because we might sign defenders. So if you check it all together, we will spend that money this year. Because if you have to replace a couple of defenders, plus a midfielder, and maybe an attacker, and most of the time when Chelsea want to sell players, if it's not our academy players, people don't buy them. What they will do, they will take them on loan. Like right now, Ziyech, if we say one of our forward players want to leave, the chances of us selling them this season, the youth players, they will buy them up front. Just check the record. But Chelsea, most of our first team players, they always go on loan, and after 2 years, they will buy them. Like Morata, you name them. So technically, we're going to let go of certain players to replace Declan Rice, but we have to spend money, whilst our players will be going on loan. So we might be spending 25% or 20% of our annual revenue to replace a position that we're not desperate for. That's why my take is.
Yeah.
That's my take.
All right, cheers, Mo. Listen, guys, please don't interrupt the speaker at this portion. We will get a chance to discuss this after I give everyone a couple of minutes to give us the opening argument. We're going to go to Boogeyman, but before we go to Boogeyman, Alex, welcome to the stream. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good to have you, Alex. Boogeyman, what's your thoughts on this topic, mate?
Yo, thanks for having me. It is simple. I don't think Tchouaméni is good enough. And I don't think our need right now is in the midfield. I don't think Chelsea. I think talking about Tchouaméni is a distraction. Right now we have a young team, and we know where the problems are. And probably next transfer window, we've been looking for a defender, and we've been looking for the center forward position. to improve it or to at least bring competition to Lukaku. So, but if we really want to buy a midfielder because for any nonsense reason, I will go with a Declan Rice because I watch Chouameni. I mean, he's a good footballer, but come on, man. I don't even know why people keep talking about
this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's two questions here. Do you think that Chelsea will be going in the market for a midfielder? That's the first part. And the second part is if you were to choose between Declan Rice and Tchouameni, who would it be? So you know, I very much appreciate that. So you don't believe that Chelsea will be in the market for that position? Brilliant. Bobby, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is an interesting topic and an excellent video by Max.
Brilliant.
It really was a good video. Good stats, good objective. The thing here is it's not so much a matter of need, but sometimes the competition forces the market, and availability forces the market as well. And of course, your ability to meet those availabilities. Of the two, my mind always tends to lean towards Declan Rice because he's a Chelsea boy, the whole family are Chelsea, and he understands the league and so on. But the thing that puts me off, and I think that the thing that could delay any move for him would be the ceiling asking price that West Ham have put on his shoulders. And then that leads us to Tchouameni. Now, our midfield is aging and we have to have a long-term plan. There's rumours that perhaps Barkley beyond this season won't be part of that long-term plan. Who knows how much longer the likes of Jorginho and Kante can go, maybe 2 more seasons after this. So we're left to having to have a plan B. Now that's already in place. You know, Ruben's not going anywhere for sure, the way he's playing, as long as he's not injured. And I would strongly advise that the club bring back Conor Gallagher next season, although Conor's presence will impact more on those playing more on the front end of the midfield than the back end. So making a choice of the two, as the club may need to do, because if someone like Tchouameni is available, if we don't get him, somebody else will. And that's another consideration. I think they may move for him. As the fact that he's young, the price is affordable, and he could be placed in the midfield, both short-term to lead into a long-term position.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Alex?
What's going on, guys?
All right, Alex.
How's everybody doing?
Good, doing great. What's your take on the point? Does Chelsea need to be in the market for another DM? And if so,
we gotta get rid of a couple of bombs on Chelsea. So yeah, we need
to get rid of what? Sorry,
couple of bombs on Chelsea team. So to replace them, we need to buy somebody.
You think we have bumps playing for Chelsea?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Elaborate.
Oh, you didn't know that? I'm a not big fan of Jorginho. I never liked him.
You might not be, but a hell of a lot of people are. So.
Oh yeah, we 6 months since we became his number one Chelsea fans. He's been the favorite midfielder for 6 months.
I was referring, for the fact that he achieved so much in the past season, that he's been shortlisted for Ballon d'Or. His performances have been a lot better. It's not my decision. But
you see, that's how people That's how you know that you think that doesn't deserve it. That's how
No,
you know when people.
no, I was. I mean, we're digressing here, but I was one of those people who didn't believe that Jorginho was a player that was benefiting Chelsea over the past while.
I'm not
However,
saying,
however,
I was joking
however,
when I said it bomb. I was joking.
yeah.
when I said it
However,
bomb.
yeah. However, he has
It's not my cup of
improved.
tea.
Yeah, he has improved a great deal recently. I think
We set up the way we
players,
set up because of him, not
Sure.
because of anybody else.
Yeah,
Defensively,
players. Sorry, Alex. 1 second. Players. They have good seasons. They have bad seasons. But end of the day, we judge them on where they are today, rather than where they were yesterday, and possibly where they'll be tomorrow. I mean, for example, a player like Callum Hudson-Odoi, we have great expectations for the future. Will he fulfill that future? We don't know, but we have the expectations of him. Players like Kante, we believe that they've been great servants for the club, and in the future they will probably be leaving. So we make plans for them to leave. To be fair with you, Alex, I don't like to refer to any of my players as bums or anything of that nature. Yeah, no, I just don't like to hear it on my stream. So we'll refer to them as being below par, bad performances, but we just try to be respectful to the people who wear our shirts on the pitch.
like I said, I think my midfield that I always it was Vieira type midfielders, SEM. That kind of when you give a defender name defensive midfielder,
Makaleli,
Mikel, like it's a defensive midfielder. I just don't see that, and that I grew up on when you call this defensive midfielder, he's a defensive midfielder. Now they call a regista. I cannot even say that. If you ask me to spell the word, I won't, because that's not my cup of tea. I like Tuchemeni over Declan. Technically, I don't care which one of them is coming, Declan Rice or Tuchemeni. They both have benefits. They both have. They're both young and good players. Don't get me wrong. With Declan Rice, he has a better because he already plays in Premier League. He knows what it is. He knows Chelsea. That's a big benefit. As a Tuchemeni, I do agree with MTT. I also was just joking about it. The French league, I just called Bakayoko because everybody, even though I wanted Bakayoko to come to Chelsea when we signed him from Monaco, I didn't know that he was going to be that kind of player. But I wanted him. And in the beginning of Chelsea career, he actually did pretty good. So, but for me, Tuchemeni is one of those players that if we not gonna sign, we're gonna regret it. So I think we sign him, but we will not close the eyes on. That doesn't mean that Rice is not gonna happen. That means that we fix the boo-boo before Declan Rice will be cheaper. I think that's the reason.
All right, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I see what you're saying. I think in respect to Bakayoko, in my opinion, Bakayoko had and has a lot of talent. He just doesn't have the confidence to perform in the Premier League. When he plays in the Premier League and the first few matches, he was trying. You can see he was trying, but then after that he kind of gave up. You can see it in his body language, and I think it's more it's motivation, it's morale, it's something there rather than something in regards to his his ability to perform. But yeah, there's many factors that could lead players astray when they come to the Premier League. The star of the show has just arrived, Max Burton. Big up to you, Max.
Hey,
I've been plagiarizing your content, man. I've played your video again earlier.
Oh, right, okay.
I think you made a very good comparison. You looked at all the key stats and all the key elements, and I'm very intrigued to know your opinion on. Firstly, do we need to bring one of these guys in from what we have in the club?
Yeah.
And secondly, if we do, who's your pick?
Yeah, first of all, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I was at a late dinner today, so that's why. So, yes.
MCIG says copyright strike. Max.
No. We're brothers here. We're brothers. He can use my content. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So when I made the video, actually, what I didn't realize, I read an article just after I read just after I made a video, that Tchouaméni is actually captained his side Monaco in a few occasions this year. So the bit about leadership qualities, he's apparently got that as well. And it's a difficult one because both of them, when I was doing this comparison video, I was looking at the stats, and as you saw with the stats, there wasn't a lot between the two of them. Declan Rice came out on top in a few areas, but not by a lot. Yeah. So the advantage that Declan Rice has got actually, because he's, as I said, he's a Chelsea supporter. He plays in the Premier League already, so there's no sort of adjustment time for him. Whereas with Tchouaméni, we're taking that gamble, and it may work out because I think I caught it late. Was Redneck saying about Bakayoko? Were you guys talking about Bakayoko when I came in?
Yeah, he brought him up. As in a player from the French league. We were comparing leagues.
Yeah, exactly. But then for every Bakayoko, you may get a Fabinho, and Fabinho's been a roaring success at Liverpool. Yeah, and they both came from Monaco. I suppose because he came from Monaco, a lot of people are thinking, is he going to do it here as well? But I know he's young as well. But I think Chelsea have been looking at this player because, as I've read a couple of other articles, Chelsea have been doing extensive scouting on this player, and it's not only his ability that they like, because when Chelsea do scouting, they don't only look at the ability, they look at the mindset of the player. Can he handle it? Can he handle the pressure? Has he got the mentality? And from what I've been hearing, he's got that sort of mentality. He's got mindset. The reason why we didn't get him last season, remember we were heavily linked with him last season actually, and the reason why Chelsea didn't go in for him is because they said that he wasn't quite ready yet for the Premier League. He could have done with another season in League 1. So with him, I think there's so many clubs in for him. He's not going to be, when you look at the clubs, all the clubs look in for him. You're looking at Real Madrid, you're looking at Manchester. I mean, not Manchester United. Was it Man U or Liverpool have been linked with him? PSG have been linked with him. So some big, powerhouse clubs have been linked with him. And I think if we are going to go for him, we're going to try and steal a march by trying to get him now, even if it's to loan him back to Monaco for the rest of the season and bring him in at the end of the season. Do we need him or Rice? I know you've commented, Mo, earlier and said you probably wouldn't want either. I think yes, we do need them. The reason being is if you look at the ages of Kante, you look at the age of Jorginho as well. Jorginho's 29. He's going to be 30 in December. Kante's 30 already, and the way that Kante has played, I know that a lot of you are probably going to say nowadays footballers can play a lot longer, as we've seen with the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, and people like that. But But for me, somebody like Kante, his style of play, can he go on? Because he's so full of energy, isn't he? This guy is a guy who gives like 200%. He runs around like a Duracell bunny on the pitch, and would he be able to do that? I know Dennis is putting his hand up. I'll let you speak in a minute. Yeah, so that sort of style, can it last for a long time? I don't know. Maybe he could. Maybe he's super fit and it can do. But as you've seen in the last couple of years, he's been picking up more and more injuries. Back in the day, he didn't have any injuries, did he? He had no injuries at all. But of late, he's been having a few more. So what Tuchel's been doing, he's been managing his games more. So whereas we used to play him week in, week out, now he's a rotational pivot, isn't he? So he doesn't play all the games. Jorginho, he's never been the quickest or whatever, but I can't see him staying in England for another 2 or 3 years because he's or if his agents to be believed, he's itching to go back to play in Italy at some point in his career. So I don't think we should be saying, okay, we're set in the midfield area now. We need to be looking at the future as well. And if somebody off Tchouameni's ability comes up, then rather than missing the boat, we need to act now, because if we had a midfield who were averaging around about the 24, 25 mark, then I say no, we don't need him. But because they're getting a bit older, then I think, yeah, I'll take either of them, Rice or Tchouameni. But the price tag is the only thing that I'm worried about. With if we can get Tchouameni for half the price that we can get for Rice, then for me, then it's probably because there's not a lot in it between them. Then I'll probably say Tchouameni just because of the price tag.
All right, I'll let Couch come in, but before I let Couch come in, let's address one factor, and then we'll move on to the second factor. Let's address the factor of, do we need a DM? Because Boogeyman brought this up. I think you make a valid case, Max, that with age and whatnot. But we can also turn around and say we've got Gilmore, we've got Gallagher, we've got Ampadu, we've got Kova. He's not old. Jorginho is not old. Kante, and even
he's going to be 30 this year.
And even in regards to Kante, Kante is a Duracell battery, but if you recharge him every now and then, he'll keep going. So maybe we need to handling him with a little bit more care. But again, this is for you guys to convince me and convince yourselves.
Before Dennis goes in, let me just respond to that one quickly.
Wait. And then the second part is going to be if we were going to get one, then who? Because I want to use that video that you made to be a decider on which way we should go. So go ahead, Max. Dennis, I'm sorry, mate. I can't. He's Duracell battery as well, but it's a different type of Duracell battery. So go on, Max. Go on, let's hear it.
What I was saying is that the way that clubs stay on the top is because what they do, they always refresh the team. That's the problem with Tottenham. The reason why Tottenham are in the mess they are in, they didn't refresh the team properly, and they were all in a rut. Yeah, if you look at Alex Ferguson when he was managing, Roy Keane, he let Roy Keane go at 30, and are you mad? He let David Beckham go when he was 20. So he's and then he's brought in other players, and that's why they've had that continued success, because he's not afraid to let go of players even if they're at the top of their game. It's not a case of always saying, oh, because these guys are performing for us, why spoil and break it or whatever. So sometimes you just need to have that new fresh blood in the side to re-energize the team.
Dennis, take it away, mate. Take it away, quick, jump in.
You guys are basically touching on the same thing. I think that what we saw this year that's a little different from in the past is we've been rotating the midfielders a lot more. So the likes of Kante, he's not playing game in, game out. So you could probably see him playing well into his 30s now, just based on the fact that we can just pull on him for the matches where we needed him and courses for courses kind of thing. With the only thing that kind of concerns me right now with our midfield is the type of midfielders that we're sort of like cultivating at Chelsea and looking at. And I don't think that we have anybody coming up through the ranks that is an out-and-out defensive midfielder, like, destroyer type, anchor type. We don't have anyone of that sort. I know that's not necessarily a position where you want to be spending overs for. It's a position that's kind of like a specialty position. But in terms of when you look at like what quality of midfielders, like the complement of midfielders that we have right now, I would say that we need somebody like that, just somebody that can just be a combative midfielder that can break things up and all of that. Right? Like,
this goes back to what Alex was saying about the Essians and the Makelele's and
Kells, all those guys. Like even the notion that even when we bought Bakayoko, I'm sure it was with that in mind, like just somebody that's a little bit more combative and just sits and whatnot. So I'm kind of like thinking that we kind of do need that if we want a complete midfield. We kind of need somebody in there. I know, and I'm kind of like going back on what I said earlier, because I was actually thinking that we need to address the defense before we need to address the midfielders, because we haven't, enough able-bodied midfielders. But it's the type of midfielder that I think that we might need to be after right now. And I mean, between the other thing too is the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards Tchouameni is because of the versatility again. Because you can say in this system right now we need a 6 because we're playing with the two sixes and whatnot. But any other manager.
Catch, I will interrupt you.
Yeah, what's up?
You're convincing me to go for Tchouaméni. Convince me that we need to get a DM.
I just did. I told you we don't have the complement of midfielders, man. What? That wasn't convincing enough for you?
No, because
Okay,
because you know, Boogeyman can turn around and say we don't need one.
Yeah, he could, but like when you look at the midfield area, you need somebody in there that can be that combative midfielder for you. It's horses for courses, right?
Maybe we don't need one.
Hold on. Well, let me just finish my point, anyways. Okay, before you guys do all right? Then we'll address that. The reason why I'm saying Tchouaméni is because he seems like he seems to be the more versatile package. He's the guy that, like, if Tuchel leaves 2 years from now, you can still see him playing a prominent role in the midfield, whether it be as a 6 and 8 or potentially even number 10. So with that in mind, I kind of think that Tchouaméni might be the guy for me. Combative midfielder, advances the ball quite well, composed, all of that, right? Strong on the tackle. But I just think we need a complement of midfield. I think that we have to be able to assemble a midfield that can play any style of game. And right now, it seems like Chelsea in particular, the style of midfielders that we're creating are the central midfielder, box-to-box type, not really, influential in any one area, but just, in that central midfield area. And like, I would rather see a little bit more, and again, this could be argued, but just a little bit more specialties in the central midfield area. I know we have Jorginho, who's a regista, can't do much more than that. I would rather see a more combative midfielder in that position right there.
All right. Go on, Bobby.
I think the case in point is that Chelsea Football Club right now doesn't swim in treacle. It doesn't stand still. We are constantly looking to improve, refresh, and the cream always rises to the top. Often fans, we have our favorites and we like to see them succeed. But you see, at the top end of the market, at the top end of the game where you have super clubs, you really don't always have the ability to dislodge or to stay in your position where competition is fierce. I remember, I just recall Mo MTD mentioning Scotty Parker. The funny thing about Scotty Parker was that he was brought in because we felt at the time that Makaleli was getting on. And indeed, he was getting on. He was, about 33 at the time. But Scotty Parker couldn't dislodge him. And neither could he dislodge Mikel. That's why he was frustrated and couldn't break through. Now, we have another situation where we've got the likes of Tchouaméni, even more so than Declan Rice, potentially going to be snapped up by a rival if we don't make a move sooner rather than later. I think we don't really have that much wiggle room. We don't have a choice. We have to bring him in because he is quality. He can eventually succeed in the positions of people like Jorginho for as long as he lasts. Kante, even if he stays, won't play all the time. And I can very easily see Tchouaméni playing with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And to me, that doesn't dislodge your Conor Gallagher's, because I view Conor Gallagher as our type of what's the name of that Italian guy that I like so much?
Chiesa.
Chiesa. I see that in Conor Gallagher. He's more the offensive type, and having people like Tchouaméni at the back will afford him that opportunity. Now, Couch was talking about a more defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielders, do they exist anymore? Well, sort of. Tchouaméni can play that role comfortably. And Ruben has shown us he can play that role as well. Not as a singular DM, which is what is getting more extinct now because of changing formations, but in a pivot. Tchouaméni, as far as I understand, is very versatile, and that fits into the Chelsea mould. The current crop of new midfielders we're having come in, the likes of Ruben, indeed, Conor Gallagher as we speak. Who else have we got? I mean, even Barkley, bless him. You know, Barkley is quite a flexible midfielder. That's what fits the mould. Kovačić, excellent, very flexible. The only problem, people forget that Kovačić can be offensive as well as defensive. It's just that he lacks finishing. If Kovačić had finishing, he would probably, in my view, be amongst the best midfielders in the world, because that guy, he can move, but no end product. So coming back to the question, should we get Tchouaméni if we can? I think we've got to.
And there's another thing, Bobby, that you keep mentioning as well, and what he gives us is physicality in midfield, physicality and presence.
Absolutely, and that's very, very important. You know, lots of us, we love Billy Gilmour. I still think Billy has about another year at least out on loan. I watched him for Scotland. You know, there's a problem we have. We tend to hype up players too much, and I think that's dangerous. I think that could destroy him. I think we need to calm down a bit. You know, Billy didn't play that great for Scotland yesterday. I think he you know, is a lovely player, but he was protected a lot by McGinn and the other guy. You know, there are many things they were doing around Billy Gilmour for Scotland. He's good. He's got some nice touches, but the kid has a way to go. So, you know, he's somebody that even if he is in the squad, we've got to have physicality around him. And we forget Fabregas was only ever good when he played beside Matic. Why? Because Matic was the big guy. We played big guy, little guy. Whenever Fabregas was with Kante, we had defensive problems in the midfield because they were both too tiny. So physicality is not something you can ignore, especially in the English league.
Boogeyman, I know you want to come in. What you want to add?
I will start with the tough, strong midfield that we're talking about. Chelsea is a big team, and if you look around Europe, the Bayern, they have Kimmich, Manchester City has Rodri, Liverpool has Fabinho. So you go around, all the svelte guy from Barcelona, number 5. Listen, those type of midfielder, Martinez tackling, be like a wild animal in the middle. Does not exist. Chelsea is supposed to dominate teams, so we don't need those type of midfielders. We need midfielder that can take the ball, dribble, and distribute the ball properly. So I don't think we need to look in that direction. And the other thing is the system we're playing. If we rely on Tuchel's system, Tuchel need more the ball to be moved as fast as possible. And so at the end of the day, as much as Tchouaméni will be a good option, or even Declan Rice, I don't think they're coming next season to move Kante or Jorginho if we don't sell any of them. They're not as good enough to move the Jorginho or Kante in the next 2 years, I would say. So do we going to loan them out? Because Tchouaméni is young. If you don't play him, he's not going to be good because he needs game time to improve, to adapt fast to this league. So we will bring Tchouaméni in and then loan him to what? To Newcastle or to other Premier League teams so he can have game times? It's exactly what's going to happen. Because if he was sitting on the bench, he's not going to be good enough to replace Kante in 2 or 3 years. So I just don't think we need Tchouaméni. I don't think we need Declan Rice. If for any reason we want to buy someone that can really bring competition, probably it's going to be Declan Rice. And like I keep saying, Tchouaméni, I watch his game in APL, in French league. I mean, he is talented, but he's not Chelsea level for me at all. That's
Yeah,
and
but
I,
aren't you buying the
Boogeyman,
potential too, though? You don't think that that's something where he can grow into that?
and I
Like, are
still
you
I
seeing
still
that finished product right now?
he not only that, but don't we have enough fixtures and enough games to be able to rotate? Because we're seeing Loftus-Cheek playing, and Loftus-Cheek wasn't even part of the setup. He's benching Saul Niguez, as a player who we paid £5 million for. So
yeah, but
there is room. There is room, isn't there?
I just think this season we won the Champions League, so we played a lot of competition. The European clubs. And next season we don't. It's not sure we're going to win the Champions League. So and next season the problem is that are we going to be able to give a starting? Is Chouameni going to be able to start 30 games next season? I don't think so. If he can, Jorginho, Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho, and all sitting. I'm not even talking about Saul, Ruben, and we brought Conor Gallagher back. Chouameni is not gonna get 30 games. He's just going to train and sit on the bench, get frustrated, create another problem, and we're going to end up loaning him. Like someone said, Parker was here to move Makelele. He can't even move the Nigeria guy, Obi Mikel. So it's not. It's more the mentality. When Chouameni come here, he noticed that he has too much challenge in front of him. He's not going to perform as the amount of confidence he will be given in Monaco. So it will be a waste of money, a waste of the kid talent to even bring him here because we're just too early. It's too early to bring him. If Kante was 32, then Jorginho was 33, and then we have Loftus-Cheek and Conor Gallagher, and we're running light in the middle. I can see those happen.
You don't think that's too late though? You're gonna wait till they're on their last legs before you replace.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I think if you want to stay at the top, if you want to stay at the top level,
it's not about staying on the top.
Bring it in, like so that you're not seeing this
I
downward
understand what you're
trajectory
saying,
and
but
bringing it up like that, right?
It's not about staying on the top. Are you going to bring Chouameni in, and Chouameni, are you going to be able to maintain Chouameni level, or allow him to develop properly? If he's not
I
playing,
still think that he's probably, even if you bring him in next year, he's going to need the adjustment of the Premier League. So he's not going to be playing 30 games his first year in the Prem at 22 years old anyways. So that's why you slowly integrate him. Like you give him like 10 games, 15 games. You play him in the cups. And as he starts mixing it with the Contes and the Jorginhos and the Kovacic's, he starts to understand what you need to do in that position.
I think if that's the option, I think we should just give the chance to Conor Gallagher because the kid
he's a different position. That's a different position.
They're not. What do you mean by I can see?
Could give the chance to Conor Gallagher. Gallagher plays more further forward. Okay.
And Max, that's it. I keep saying that defensive midfield type that you get describing, that position does not exist anywhere in Chelsea. So
yes, it is. It's a double six. It's what Tuchel uses. He says it's a double pivot. Okay, and we do that. That's the way we play, with a double pivot. Conor Gallagher is not going to be playing in a double pivot role. Conor Gallagher is going to be playing rotating games with Mason Mount. I think his games more based on like what Mason Mount has than playing in one of those roles. Yeah, exactly.
Or Robin Loftus-Cheek if he's injured.
Kovacic is playing a double pivot. What do you mean by Kovacic or Robin Loftus-Cheek? Robin Loftus-Cheek is playing double pivot. So if you think Conor Gallagher can replace one of those, then I'm right to say Conor Gallagher can actually play in a double pivot position.
I think you're missing a big part.
Thank you. Why don't you explain me better?
Okay, well, here's the why you think that we always play. Jorginho needs somebody beside him at all times. That's the problem. We cannot separate Jorginho. Do you understand why we don't?
Why?
Because he's bad in Jorginho position regularly. He's not a single six. He will be. I don't want to say stuff on this stream because I will use a bad word. I'm saying like some people will not use the lubricant when we do stuff to him, despicable things to him. If he's going to be number one, only one defensive midfielder, he needs somebody beside him at all times. That's why Kovacic is there. That's why Robin Loftus-Cheek is there, because to get out of that situation pressure, he needs somebody to be on his own. He can't be there.
I don't understand this whole thing. Jorginho sometimes is not on the field. We still play double pivot. So that means at that time, Loftus-Cheek needs someone around him?
No, when that thing happened, they both push up. When Jorginho
listen, we'll move on. Because I'm not seeing any sense in this, man.
You don't think that Conor Gallagher plays further up the pitch? Like, where is he playing right now for Palace?
Listen to what I'm trying to say. I've seen Conor Gallagher. I watched a Manchester City game. I'm pretty sure we all watch how he put pressure on Rodri. He is there pressing all those things. But
from the front.
But if you notice Kovačić on the field, when we're pressing, when the opposition has the ball, when we press in, you can see Kai Havertz running. You can see Kovačić pretty much at the second striker putting pressure on the other defender. So the position does not take the fact that a midfield can press. So our double pivot, their job when we don't have the ball is to press. When we have the ball, they have to be able to dribble in 1v1. That's why Kovačić is so good. That's why we all chanting Loftus-Cheek. But those are the two men that can take someone in the middle and 1v1 past them quickly. And with their job, also when we don't have the ball, is to press. So Conor has those qualities. He can pass someone.
I'm not going to deny that. That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Sorry, Catch. I think the point that Boogie is trying to make is Conor Gallagher is very similar to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, that he can do multiple roles well. Ruben is not a 6. He's not an 8. He's not a 9. He's not a 10. He's all of those things. He can do all of those things, and that is what makes a player like Ruben so valuable to Chelsea Football Club, because of his versatility in his positioning. I think Conor Gallagher has that, but where I differ from Boogeyman on this is I think in a position like that, to reinforce it, you need to bring in a player to be able to hold that position. Now, can Gallagher chip in? Should we have an injury or whatnot? Yes, he could do it. He could do it like Ruben Loftus-Cheek is doing it now in that position or further up or whatnot. And Gallagher will be able to do the same thing. Kovačić is able to do the same thing. But their positioning, for me, Ruben is out left hand side, and left 8 for me, Ruben. Gallagher is also for me a right 8, maybe a 10 on the right hand side, not a 6. I think we do need to address that position, whether it's within the club. I mean, if we decide to convert Gallagher to that position, and that's why he'll be trained to win the ball back, to keep pressing in our half and trying to retain possession and then attack. If that's what we're going to do to Gallagher and train him to do that, fine. But if we are going to keep working with him on his strengths right now, it wouldn't be that. I do believe we need to address that position. It's the way that we're going to go about addressing it is the crucial part. And I agree with Bobby. Bobby made a very, very good point in respect to Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni is a player that his market value, his prestige, his reputation is only gonna grow, and that's what we're seeing right now with the attention that is on him from all the big clubs. If we don't go in and get him this window, this season, either in the winter window or the summer window, I think his price is only gonna increase, and it'll be difficult to get him in the future. So if we do anticipate filling that role, we could do a lot worse than getting Tchouaméni for 40-50 million pounds. Declan Rice issue. That's something we'll address in a minute. But in respect to that position, I told Max earlier on his video, I don't think we need to go for either one of these players, because I think we should do it within our club. But it's how we approach it. And Couch, I interrupted you, mate. I apologize.
No, I'm glad you did, because that's a good point. So you say doing within the club. Do you see anyone in the ranks right now that can come in and fulfill the role that we're talking about, like a sitter?
Today?
Yeah, well, just within the club. Like even
I'm not sure.
Maybe this is a question for MDT. Like I don't believe that Amplitude's that person myself.
No, and Gilmore, but he's not ready either.
And I don't even think Gilmore's that person. I don't even, like Bobby said this before, and I had to like hold on to the thoughts for a while and think about it. But it's seemingly true. I don't think that Gilmore is going to be back at the club anytime soon.
No.
And if he does come back at all.
No, I think if I may just chip in, I just think that what's happening, and perhaps what everybody is subconsciously afraid of, is that the arrival of Tchouaméni will probably start to signal the end of our Regista, and it will extend the loan period of Gilmore, and probably will start looking to put people like Ampadu on the market. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. If Tchouaméni does what we hope he will do, it won't be a bad thing at all. And it will certainly signal the end of the likes of Saul. And sadly, I've always liked this player, but if he doesn't make it, it doesn't make it. It will signal the end of Barkley. So, if he is that good, as we hope he is, it's a worthy investment. It's not going to be a waste of time. I never do this game time argument because Boogeyman was referring to the fact that we won the Champions League has given us all these games. No, winning the Champions League will only give us 2 extra games, or maybe 3 if you include the Club World Cup games. It's being in the Champions League at all that gives you a lot of extra games. And if Chelsea don't get into the Champions League again, that is an issue. So we should expect to get back into the Champions League. And there will be yet again another grueling season next season. And you're forgetting there's the African Nations Cup, there's the World Cup, there's all sorts of football going to be had that we will need depth of squad. Tchouaméni is not going to upset anything. If anything, he'll just make the squad better.
Lads, what about the Jude Bellingham? What do you guys think of him? I mean, does he fit the mold?
Top player. Yeah, definitely. We were looking at him before, weren't we? Before he went to Dortmund, along with Man United. This guy is only 18 now. He's so mature, and he's got the right attributes. He's got the leadership skills as well. He's intelligent and a confident player. If he was available, then yeah, I'll definitely. I know the club has still maintained an interest in him, and
but we get rid of those. If he comes in, somebody gotta go.
Unfortunately, that will look like what's his name? Ziyech.
As Bobby says, if you get someone in and they prove their Spurs and they play, it's up to the others to say no. I am the man in position. So it's competition's good. I love competition. And as a player, you should thrive on the competition as well. Mason Mount did. Players came in and he said, you know what? I don't care who comes in. I'm going to prove that I'm worth the place. So, when you're playing for a big club, that's what you expect. Big players to come in.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Let's address the Declan Rice situation. MDT, you're here. We've missed you. We've missed you.
Yeah, I've been listening to everybody. I find myself today. Sorry.
Look, continue, please.
Today agreeing with Boogeyman. Unbelievable. So I don't know. Something's wrong with me today.
Boogeyman's eyes are bigger than the screen now.
Okay, like Boogie was saying, apart from Bayern Munich, there's not a top team in Europe that don't have a couple of experienced players in midfield. I was a younger, the 29-30. Henderson is older than any of our two midfielders we are calling Holt. Henderson at Liverpool. Milner is older. And Fabinho is 28, isn't it? 28 this year, if I'm not mistaken. And we are calling our 29-year-old and 30-year-old old. And you go to Barcelona, they have Busquets. He's older than my grandmother. And you are in, I think, Manchester City. They have Kevin De Bruyne at 29.
Busquets used to play with my granddad in the park.
Yeah, and Gundogan will be 31 this year, if I'm not mistaken. And they have another experienced one on their bench. You need experience around these young players. Our team is very young. If we get rid of all this...
To be fair, everyone is saying we need to start to build for the future because these guys have only got a few more seasons left in them. So, 31, 32, 33...
Yeah, but... But they're not 31 yet. That's what I'm saying. Everybody around Europe, all the teams we're competing with, they have all the players. If we get rid of, try to change it now, it will affect us. Because guess what? When a team is too young in that position, you need to change it, but bit by bit. We don't have old meter. Kova is 27. Rubin is 25. And even the other players we're looking at, and even the Gallagher you guys are talking about, Gallagher has always played in a 2 most of his career. Because you know why? At the youth team, it was Mount, and Callum was coming from the under-16 sometimes. Gallagher was forced to play next to Charlie Colker as a 2. Okay, and when he went to West Brom, he was playing in the 2. And even Crystal Palace, the starting of the season, he was playing at the 2. But when you push him forward, he's a threat. That's true. But he can play in the 2. Okay, and also another thing we were talking about standing still. When we won the league with Conte, you know what we did? We get rid of one of our academy players, Chalobah. The reason why his career stopped is because he has a kneecap injury at Watford. That stopped his career. We get rid of Chalobah and send Rubin on loan to Crystal Palace and bought Bakayoko and Drinkwater. I thought they were goodbye when we were doing it. I was happy with both of them because I thought Kante have history with Drinkwater is a good signing. And Bakayoko was good. But guess what? Sometimes we look out of our club for a solution that's already in our club. We end up wasting money. Chelsea, with our fun. No, I'm
just saying,
I'm telling you this. We have the solution. No, he was. The reason why he left it because of game time. The club didn't want him to leave.
He was
but he refused to. No, he was a cover, but he was meant to stay. But because he refused to sign his a contract, he has 1 year left. So they sold him to Watford. And guess what? When he went to Watford, he had an England cap, but he was injured 8 games into the season. His kneecap was broken. That's what ended his career.
You know what? Southgate was the one that got into his head and told him to go out because he can get into the England side.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Game time, exactly.
Can I ask you a question, MDT? It's a simple question. It really is because your points are strong points. They're valid points. Although I can't remember the last time James Milner played more than 20 minutes for Liverpool, but that's another matter. The issue here is, I've pointed out that Gallagher could be our answer to Federico Chiesa, and I personally really believe that. Now we're talking about Tchouaméni and Declan Rice, and you're saying that the solutions are from within, but you haven't earmarked who those solutions are. Yes, we've got the players that we've got, but we are always.
Yeah, I was gonna come to that.
Okay, we're all ears.
Yeah, what was I gonna say is right now, for me, if we even want to buy Tchouaméni, I believe if we because I like him, I like both him and Rice. If we can buy him and let him stay there on loan, okay, I will more said, okay, maybe that's okay. But guess what? Within the club right now, if we want to give a player a chance, I believe personally, I might be wrong because his opinion we give him. The Ampadu I've seen this season is come back to the Ampadu that break touring contest season. I believe that. And if we let him go, we will be talking about it, say, oh, what happened here? What happened here? And we forgot what happened. He had a terrible 2-season loan. But guess what? This season, the Ampadu I'm seeing is a mature 21-year-old. It's totally different from the Ampadu that was lost the past 2 seasons. So that's what I'm saying, that let's see what he can do like Rubin. Nobody thought Rubin will do what he's doing. Let's see. Give him a chance. Go not to forget about Tchouaméni or whatever. Even if Chelsea have to buy Tchouaméni, but don't let go of those players yet. And I believe if they get Tchouaméni, they're gonna let go of those players. And if Tchouaméni doesn't work out or Rice, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Give those players chance and see before you let go of anybody. Because believe me, we have the solution if we look in within.
I can see that. I have watched Ampadu in Italy, and I must say I was impressed, but I kind of scoffed at it because I thought, oh, that's the Italian league. I see your point. I really do. I hope the club see your point and do give him a chance, because I'm sure Chelsea fans, we always want homegrown. It's just that we're not sure the club will go down that road. It'd be fantastic if they did.
Actually, can I add something quick about Billy? 6 months ago, we were told Billy was Jorginho's successor.
Billy Esta? Billy Esta, is that what we call it?
Except for me.
Okay, except for Bobby. So when Billy was coming in, I think he played against Liverpool, and I can't remember the 2-3 games that he started. Everton, he didn't do too well, but I think there were 2 games where he was a man of the match at Liverpool and another one also. So we all thought that he's going to be the next big thing, at least the Jorginho successor or something. So then the kid went to Norwich. The team, the entire team is having a problem. He didn't show too much this season. Then we don't think if Billy come back at preseason and he stay at Chelsea, if Billy start playing our cup games, played 1 or 2 games as like he did it last season, he will not get back to his potential. Because the potential is there. He'll just end up in a crappy team, and he cannot lead the team. Maybe he doesn't have that leadership side of his game. That's why he get everything confused at this point. But if Billy came back to the structure where he can show more of his quality, I'm pretty sure that the next season and the season coming, next season and the season after next season, when Jorginho and Kante are reaching their 32 and a half, I think we may just see a completely different Billy that is actually developed and mold himself to Chelsea team. And finger crossed if Tuchel is still our manager. But even under Lampard, Billy was playing really good also. So I'm not even talking about Tuchel at this point. So I'm just thinking if Billy come back next season, and as most of us here think maybe it wasn't a good idea to loan him out, if he stayed and just play 1, 2, 3 cup games, and even Champions League game when we pretty sure we won the group, and he played the last 2-1 just, and he get the grooves, come back completely. Kante is 32.
Like, because now he's gone on loan this year, hasn't played a lot, and then he's gonna come back into the squad and not really be featured as well. Like, that's 2 years of like very limited.
Yeah, but that's the same thing we used the last season for, and we all say it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, so now it's
bring Tchouaméni,
football.
Even if we bring Tchouaméni today,
you've even furthered my point.
Yeah, but if we bring Tchouaméni, listen, let me finish. If we bring Tchouaméni at £60 million or £40 million, he's going to be doing exactly that.
But he's already been playing football though. Like he's been playing
in French league. That's what I keep saying. Even
you're making the French league
he's
sound
not
like
that
nothing,
good.
Though. Like as MTP has said, it's like one of the more combative football leagues there are. Like it's very combative.
Where was Thiago Silva? Where did we get Thiago Silva from, Boogeyman?
What's that?
Where did we get Thiago Silva from?
Where did Thiago Silva play in Italy?
Yeah, but he played 7 years in the French league. So
listen, Thiago Silva is another animal. I cannot sit down here and say.
Yeah, but you haven't seen Tchouaméni play. How can you say he's another animal when you're judging somebody saying it's a French league? You've never seen, he could be a different animal as well.
Max,
you don't know though. Yeah, go on, talk.
Max, I said I've watched Tchouaméni. I said I've watched Tchouaméni in the French league. He's not as good as everybody keeps talking about him. I just don't see it. I know he can tackle. I know he's combative. I know he can do all those things. But I just don't see all we're saying like he's going to come to Chelsea and be the next thing.
Boogie, can I ask you this question, Boogeyman?
I will listen to you. Yeah. Go ahead. I
Do
say
you
yes.
think Declan Rice will start for France?
Declan Rice
Yes,
in French team.
for the French national team. Yeah, French
If he was,
national team. Do you
if
think
he
Declan Rice will
was,
start?
if he was a French playing in APL right now, yeah, he will be in French national team. I'm not sure if he will start in front of Pogba.
Okay, if you think
Pogba and
no,
listen,
if you think
let me finish. I don't think he will start in front of Pogba and Kante. I'm not sure. But if he was French playing here, he will be in national team. Yeah.
Pogba is
okay,
a free transfer, isn't he?
Chouameni is number 3 right now. Chouameni is number 3 in the picking order behind Kante and Pogba. That's it in the French national team, and he's not good enough in your eyes. So I want to know your standard then, because if somebody is number 3 behind in the world champions team. Boogeyman, I need to know your standard because this must be very high.
I will
Because
answer
number
you.
3,
Let me go this way. If Hugo Lloris was to be English player, were to be let me just, where is Mendy from? I cannot say Senegalese. That would be too much. He's not dark enough. Where if Hugo Lloris was to be Italian, would he be starting in front of how do you call it? Dollarama or whatever his name is. The thing is, you cannot compare national team, Pogba and Kante fit. Chouameni is not starting game. Paul, listen. No, you cannot compare. You cannot bring that and it doesn't make any sense.
A spanner in the works. Is Paul on a free transfer next summer?
Yeah, I think if he doesn't renew.
Has he renewed?
No.
Okay, so he's going out on a free transfer next season, end of the season. Now, can you contemplate Paul Pogba, who's 28, with Kante? Should we be looking at Paul Pogba on a free?
No, Chelsea. I think.
Why not?
I think Pogba come with a lot of baggage that I don't like.
Is he still with?
Is he still in his game? Is still a decent player. A properly coached
still
Pogba.
with Mino Raiola, or has he left him?
No, Raiola.
He's still Mino Raiola.
Another big.
Forget that. Let's move on.
One thing I will say about Paul Pogba. One thing I will say about Paul Pogba. Pogba's reputation in the media is a fake one, what people or whatever. Paul Pogba, you will never see him at night out in a club or anything. You will never see him doing controversy. What it does is what a family, home, training, go to the mosque on Friday, just like the Chalobah brothers, go to church on Sunday. That's his life. Whatever you see in the media is people making it up. Ask anyone in Manchester here. The players that go clubbing, drinking, those whatever, they're here. Well, you don't hear them. Paul Pogba, when Mino Raiola said anything, it's Paul Pogba's fault. When anything goes wrong in Manchester here, it's Paul Pogba. When it's raining, it's Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is one player I've never seen done anything wrong here. Nobody will tell me Pogba did this. It's always, Mino Raiola this or whatever. And if Pogba has a bad game, it's the end of the United season. I don't understand the reputation he gets. If you give anybody that's playing at this United team right now, nobody is playing well. For me, the reason why I don't want Pogba to Chelsea is because of the wage he's already on. He's one of the highest paid players in the world. So for him to live on free, Chelsea cannot afford him. Okay, but Pogba is not what the media said. Because if that was the case, he would not play for France. He would not have played for Juventus. Real Madrid would not want him. Okay, so sometimes this media narrative, because a media paints people, so the public believe it.
I don't think the media has a narrative. People just keep saying, in big game, Pogba seemed not to impose himself in the Manchester United midfielder. Nobody said Pogba is in the middle of the street.
Guys, hold on. Guys, one second. We're digressing. I wanna ask you guys one question, and the answer is yes or no, and then we'll discuss why. Answer is yes or no, and then we'll discuss why. Okay. If Chelsea are able to get Declan Rice for below 80 million, so 80 million and below, should we get him ahead of Tchouaméni or not? So yes, we should. No, we shouldn't. And I'm going to start with Max Burton, and then we'll work our way around the board, and then we'll discuss why. Because I want to talk a bit. We talked about Tchouaméni enough. I want to address Declan Rice. So Max, start us off, man. Yes or no? Should we get Declan Rice for below 80 million?
Yeah.
Yes. And by the way, this yes is ahead of Tchouaméni. Yeah. Ahead of Tchouaméni.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Dennis.
For below 80, so that could be anywhere from like 1 to 80 million, right?
It's not going to be one, but it'll probably be something between 75 and 80 million. No in West Ham.
No, don't put the parameters in now. 75 and 80 million.
Can I?
Below 80 or less. 80 or less. Boogie, I'm coming to you after Dennis.
I would say yes.
Yes. All right. Brilliant. So definitely for £2.50, we'll get Declan Rice. Go, Boogie, man.
I say it's not from 0 to 80 is minus 16 million. Because he want to pay just 16 million to pay for us. Anyways, listen. If Chelsea decided for any, I will say it again, nonsense reason to buy a midfielder next season, Declan Rice is at less than 80 million. Then we take him over Tchouaméni. Any days I will go Declan Rice.
Okay, Bobby.
Oh, I even that, when you say under 80 million, if he was up for grabs under 80 million, I think you're looking at over 70 million. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
But because of what he can give, I think I'll have to say yes.
To be fair, once I saw the video that Max posted, it changed my thinking. It changed my thinking in respect to Declan Rice, because his stats are phenomenal. MDT.
Yeah, holding midfielder, I will not pay anything more than 60 million for them. I don't care what they can do. That's a position that is not worth that. No, there's no their position. What they do is limited. I don't care what anybody say. Take the ball from the defenders and recycling it. 60 million plus.
Makelele.
That's crazy.
Prime Makelele, Prime Kante.
MDT is our subject again. The question was, so if you say no, then are we going for Tchouaméni? That's the question. If
even Tchouaméni, if it's 60 million, no. 60 million, no. That's what I mean. Above 60 million is no for me personally. I don't know the club, but for me, no. That position.
Get some money, man.
Sorry, MDT, I got to disagree with you there, because take Rice and
wait, Max, hold on.
Okay, we'll argue about it afterwards. Yeah.
We'll argue in a second. Alex, let me hear it.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't care which one of them are coming, as long as one of them is leaving.
As long as one of who leaving? One of the players in the team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the only reason they coming. Because they coming for him.
Okay.
For his position.
Right. And I'm guessing you want to see the Regista leave.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. All right, Max, take it away.
Yeah, so I disagree with what MDT is saying there as well, because listen, West Ham, they finished just outside the top four last season. They're challenging again for the top four this season. Take Rice and Souček out of that team, in fact, and you put in two other midfielders, the mid-table to bottom of the league, okay? So don't underestimate the value of what the midfield, they're the engine room. Liverpool are missing Wijnaldum this season. Yeah, a lot of people probably said he's indispensable, but they're missing that type of midfielder this season. Yeah, when we don't have our, like Kante in the side, or for instance Jorginho or something, there is something missing within our side. So that's the engine room. So if you're paying that much for the engine, that's an important. Look at Manchester United. Why are Manchester United not doing so well this season? Okay, they're badly managed apart from body at the wheel. But apart from that, had they had like a powerhouse in the midfield area, because they've been overrun in midfield so much this season. So no matter what sort of quality they've got up front, you know, they haven't got that midfield to dominate games. So that area for me is a very important area.
I think what he was talking about is just the position itself, though, like whether or not a defensive midfielder, like everyone can acknowledge that central midfield is probably the most important area on the pitch in terms of winning and losing games. As far as I'm concerned, it is, because that's where you control it. But he was saying more the defensive midfielder, the guy that's just anchoring the midfield, whether or not that position is worth over 60, what is it, 80, just under 80 million. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Sorry?
Hasn't that position become more valuable recently?
Where?
Actually,
In what teams?
Generally.
No,
our team is one.
No, I wouldn't say so, actually. I think that we're moving away from
guys,
that.
I mean, and also, we all forgetting this, okay? These players we're talking about, they're not Frankie de Jong, okay? Frankie de Jong type is the one going to pay kind of money for. Okay, so you name a team, a top team, whether it's Real Madrid or whatever, that spend over 60 million on a defensive midfielder. It's not there. Manchester City was Rodri, 57. Okay, that's the most expensive, I think, and Liverpool 40 something for Fabinho. Okay, even now, Real Madrid are trying to they went and get Camavinga for next to nothing. That's what I mean. That position, if you go to France, you will have them in bond. You buy one, get one free. France, they produce midfielders like Lido. Like when you go into Lidl and go and buy a croissant, how cheap it is. That's what I mean. That position is not worth that kind of money. Because Chelsea, our overall annual revenue is 400 and something million. So we keep forgetting that. It's crazy to spend that kind of money on that position. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad position. It's the injury room. Yeah, I agree with you, Max. That's correct. But I mean, you can get somebody that can play that position. Cheaper than Tchouaméni, cheaper than Rice. Or you look within, but that is too expensive.
Okay. If we want Declan Rice, the player is way too important for West Ham for us to get it less than 60 million. That's a fact. So
when is his contract expiring? Is it in two seasons?
Last season they said 3 years more. He has now 2. At the end of this
with
season,
an option for a third, an option for an extension as well. So I think it's 3.
3.
And the last season,
at the end of the season, it's going to be 2, but West Ham got an option to extend it by another year.
So, and he has refused to extend his contract. I'm pretty sure West Ham, if I heard it properly, West Ham has tried to extend his contract, but he said no because he wanted to come to Chelsea. So now at the end of this at the end of this season, he's only going to have 2. West Ham going to try again to sign him. He's probably going to say no, because he wants to come to Chelsea. So if for any reason West Ham said his value is 60 million or 61 million, I don't think we should wait. I mean, if Chelsea want to go for it, that's what I'm saying, because I don't think we need it. Because for me, Declan Rice coming to Chelsea right now, he's going to be waiting for another 3 years before he can play most of our games, because we have a team that plays certain system, and it will take many years for Declan Rice to properly adapt to it, unless we decided to just change our system and accommodate Declan Rice.
I think
he's used to our system already.
There's something we're overlooking here. When the rumors were going out about Chelsea getting De Ligt, the rationale behind that was that De Ligt could not only play the centre-back position, but he could move into midfield. So he gave flexibility going forward. One thing Declan Rice gives us upon all the other midfielders we have discussed is flexibility going backwards, because he can play in defence as well. He is the De Ligt, as it were, from the midfield position going backwards. That's where I think his value is. He is overpriced, but which English player isn't? If you're
And-
going to get an English player, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, and another thing as well, if we lose Rudiger, and I keep talking about this because this is important, it's about leadership. We lose Rudiger, we're losing a leader out of the team. Who in our team are leaders? Who do you call a leader in our side at the moment?
Especially of that sort of aggressive ilk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to get in some leadership if we're taking out some leadership in our team at the moment.
Azpilicueta is also possibly leaving. I know
Exactly.
there's talks.
And
he might sign-
Thiago Silva probably.
You know what? I have a problem.
We're losing a whole bunch of the the leaders.
You know what? I have a problem with sometimes, but maybe my ego, but I just don't like the idea that they can just come to Chelsea and bring his leadership, and we let him lead our team one way or the other. I just don't like the idea. I don't like it for some reason.
Boogeyman, where that will come from and where that will be useful to us is, and I'm sure Mo MDT may attest to this, is that, once a Chelsea boy, forever a Chelsea boy. Apart from the fact that Declan Rice's whole family are Chelsea fans, he came through our academy, I think from the age of about 7 till he was 14. So he's had that schooling, and he'll be like Lukaku, who wasn't, an academy product, but he was here as a young kid. And that Chelsea embedding in him has made Lukaku walk into the dressing room and he's already giving out orders. Do you see what I mean? So Declan Rice will have that passion, and because of that passion, he will step into leadership automatically. He's a natural leader on the field anyway, but he would want to push that team forward. So it's a little bit different than just having some Charlie turn up and giving him the armband.
Bobby, a lot of the players that he grew up with are in the first team right now. So Mason Mount, Reece James, Ruben. So he's in familiar surroundings. It's not, So yeah.
And
I think
Boogie, what you're saying as well. Boogie, what you're saying as well about leadership. Listen, leadership is not something you've either got it or you haven't. That's something that's born within you. Okay, and a lot of the players who were playing for us, that's what if you look at all the other managers that we've had Conte, we've had Sarri, we've had Lampard, who's saying we've let the players, they've let that personality, that leadership. Okay, you can't make somebody a leader. Somebody is born a leader. So look at Manchester City when Ruben Dias came in, his first season. He showed those leadership qualities, in his very first season, and he shored up that defence and made them stronger. So for you to say that they don't like someone to come in and just be a leader straight away, if they come in and they've got those qualities, then that's what they've got. Sorry,
but we have a leader. He's a quiet church boy, but he's a very, very good church boy. You see that Chalobah one? He was one of the leaders in the junior team. But you know why he's quiet now? Is because when you're playing with your seniors, you have to be the obedient type. Chalobah is a leader. How do you call it? Trevor is a very, very good leader. Him,
but you know what?
Mount,
No, MDT. You know what I like to see? I can tell you what, the guy you mentioned the other day, Ampadu can be a leader, and so can Billy Gilmore. Because to say that because he's just coming to the first team, I don't see that. If you're a leader, you don't care who it is you're playing. You're bossing around the big boys. You come in, you start bossing them around. John Terry was bossing around these guys as well when he was younger. Okay, because he had those qualities in it. Not so much when he became captain, but he was telling them where to go, and he didn't mind about doing that. I watched Ampadu play against Bournemouth in the cup when he was under Conte, was it? I think it must have been. And I was speaking to Zay. I was speaking to Zane about it, and I said, "Look at this boy. This boy is going to be a leader." You know why? He wasn't afraid to shout at those guys and tell them, pointing at them, "This is where you should be." Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So,
he moves people around. He likes to move people around.
So Chalobah, I mean, if he was a strong leader, he shouldn't matter about his age. Chalobah, he's in the side. He shouldn't be scared to scream at somebody who's 10, 15 years a senior it's a football game, and if you're not going to take instructions from someone who's 7 to 8 years younger than you, then you're not a professional player as far as I'm concerned. So you just show those leadership qualities regardless of age for me.
MDT.
Yeah, but you look at Aspi. Aspi doesn't lead shouting. That's what I mean. Chalobah is like the Aspi type and Mount. That's how they whatever. I understand. You're right.
Jorginho is the one attacking on the field.
Ampadu is very, very good leader. He doesn't care what age you are. He will tell you where to be, what to do. That's true. But I mean, like Chalobah and Mount, they're very, very good leader. They lead like what's his name, Aspi. They don't shout around, but they talk to you quietly. That's what I mean.
Jorginho is the one that shouts. That's one of his really good quality, actually. He tells people word. Yes. Jorginho, what thing I like about Jorginho is he's vocal. And as a center back, MDT, I will so disagree with you about this is the easiest part in midfield. This is the, how you say it, too many players for that position. There's not. Defensive midfielder, for me personally, is the most important position on the field because he can put the structure in the back and he structures how you going forward. That's the most important. If you are defensively minded, but you're okay looking forward, you win things with that kind of. That's why everybody don't like Mikel. I love Mikel. Mikel for me at Chelsea is one of the best things that happened because he was quiet one. He was not vocal one. He didn't go forward because of his abilities. But when it comes to defend, nobody passed him. That's why Jim Terry and everybody was looking good in defense.
I have to support one thing that Mo MDT said. Chalobah, I see leadership potential there. And I really noticed it when we played with perhaps one of the youngest back threes that played certainly that weekend in the Premier League. When we played him, Christensen, and Malang Sarr. Christensen's qualities that day.
Christensen did not play that game, right? It was two.
He was center of the.
Oh yeah, I thought I saw two black dudes at the back. James, Chalobah, and Malang Sarr, if I remember. For some reason, maybe I got it wrong.
Reece was there, but it was Christensen. And Christensen led by example. He did very well that day. He really did. But the tenacious one was Chalobah. And I saw something in him that day. I said, look, this guy, Mo is right. When you're playing alongside people like Thiago, you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know why, Bobby?
Well, Thiago is a master, isn't he? He's
Exactly.
a lot older than them.
And the background, I was going to tell MTD, it's in fact related to the background. Africans' education is always go that way. As talented, as good as you are, when you come to a field and you have mature people around you, it's like learn from them, respect them, learn from them. That's how you grow. So that's why the kid is not talking too much, but he will try to do his best. Give him his chance, he will lead.
You don't have to be African to learn from them. I mean, you don't.
But what I'm trying to say is way specific to our culture. Like when you find yourself in a certain group, you're always trying to factor the age in fast. Okay, who talk? Okay, I won't answer this guy too much. Who talk? But if someone I feel like we're close to the same age, then I'm engaged more with him. So that's how we came up as educated. That's what I feel like Chalobah is doing. Because effectively, what I saw him in the youth, he's a leader. But then I noticed that here, he's more trying to do everything, listen to every time he's trying to make a decision, you always look around to see what Thiago is telling him most of the time, why he can just lead. So I think that is a factor in his decision or his way of playing.
Boogeyman, you're correct there. You know an example of that is Rudiger.
MDT, sorry. We need to go to the final topic of the stream today. It's a topic that is controversial to say the least, but it's a topic that seems to be it's either a blunder in the direction of Chelsea, the direction of one of our players, or is it a deliberate attempt to disrespect one of our players, one of our key players? We're going to address this particular topic, and it's going to be introduced by Couch Critic. What Couch wants to say in respect to this particular topic. Couch, take it away, mate.
Yeah, no, it's something that is, plagued black sports stars for years. Like this idea that, you just throw any picture of any player in front of the name, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It comes from the Sun Sports, or I'm sorry, we made a mistake here. We didn't recognize the error that we made. And when you look at this particular one with Benjamin Mendy and Edouard Mendy, I just think it's the allegations here. To have your face linked with the allegations of being charged with rape is more damning than most people consider, because they're associating that with somebody who is completely innocent of that, right? And it just seems as though this happens time and time again, and not just with false allegations. We're talking about with Raheem Sterling has gone out the media, how they're feeding into this racism that is perpetuated within society just because of how they make their posts about how Phil Foden buys a house for his parents and he's like the golden boy, and then when Raheem Sterling does it, it's it's viewed as what's this rich black boy think he's doing, buying a house for his mom? He can't afford to do that, stuff like that. I literally took the time to search racism and journalism on Twitter, and this popped up. I'm not sure how to share it. Let me see. Share your screen. Okay. Are you guys seeing that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Share. Here we go. Are you seeing that?
It'll take a second. It's a little bit of a delay, Couch, but it will come up eventually.
Okay.
Did you click on the picture? You have to.
Have you added it to the? Is it in the at the bottom?
Canadian internet is slow.
Is it in the screen at the bottom?
Maybe I should do window. Hold on.
Yeah, you have to choose. You have to choose what application it is as well when you share it.
Right. I don't think I've done that right then. Let me try that. Share screen, Chrome tab. That's what it is. I see. All right. Thanks, Max.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yep.
It's coming up now. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, former SA school rugby coach arrested in Australia for child porn. This is the player. This is not the coach. And he's the one that's associated with this, child porn allegation here. And this happens time and time again. The demonizing of black athletes and whatnot in media and whatnot. This is again just another example of just unnecessary journalism. And if I were Sia in this case, I would be suing. My image should not be anywhere near associated with some sort of child pornography allegation, and it's disheartening. I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. You see this stuff and you think, it triggers, not only because it's it's very offensive, but it triggers because you're looking at something like that and you're not necessarily you're not seeing the truth of it. You're always just putting these images in front of people that continue to demonize black athletes, lower the opinion of the black athlete when they're in no way near responsible. And in the case of Edouard Mendy, he's been a model citizen, and now they're using his name and pulling it through the mud as well. So I don't know. It's a hot button topic. I thought it was something that we needed to discuss just because it does involve a Chelsea player, and what is the repercussions for something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think can I come in here?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Some of it's born out of ignorance. Oh, there's a black footballer called Mendy who's for race. They haven't done their research. Okay. Some of it's racial. Some of it's ignorance. And the reason I say that, I was at a cricket match a few years ago. I think that the West Indies were playing England, and the photographer was there, took a picture, And as I was walking past, he says, "Oh, can you help me out with something? Who is this? Do you know the name of this particular player?" So I had to tell him who this player was. Otherwise, he'd probably put somebody else on who can. But if you're in that industry, if the work I do, I got to do my homework. Yeah. So I can't just do something without doing, that's their job. That's what they're paid for. They're sports photographers. They need to do their job. And what are the editors there for as well? It's for me the fact that
that's the point, though. How does it get through all these?
That's what I'm saying. So that's it. Okay. Even if the photographer didn't know the name, that's what editors there for, to check. Or is this the right thing? I work on websites and things like that. I can't just put something on the website without it going through different people checking it and signing it off. So because I'm human, so sometimes I'm gonna do a mistake. I won't spot that mistake. So that's why you have a peer review, then you have the stakeholder review, whatever. Yeah. So for me, that's not something which is going out in the public, as you said, and it's that can be damaging. In this case, like to Mendy, then I think definitely it's something that they need to think more about. And I hope Mendy does sue this publication. What paper is it? The Mirror. Yeah, I hope he does. Yeah, I hope he does sue them for that, because that's quite damaging. Mud sticks. At the end of the day, not everyone knows who Mendy is. Okay. Most football fans would know who this is, but the ordinary Joe Blogg on the street who doesn't take an interest in football are going to be looking at this guy and thinking, he's that rapist or whatever.
Exactly.
I agree with. I'm just sharing. I hope you can see what the article is. It's been unshared.
Hold on. No, this is.
It's another one, is it?
I'd have to share it again. Anyway, it's gone now. Anyway, the issue here was I saw this and it really upset me. I tweeted out, I included Chelsea Football Club and tried to entice them to get their legal team onto this, because this is very damning. This is not a joke. There have been so many young men that have. I feel there's nothing worse than the actual sort of rape and that sort of abuse of another human being than a false allegation. I think the penalty for the offence should be the same as a false, for a false allegation. And, trying to put somebody's image in relation to that sort of thing when they have absolutely nothing to do with it, it's abhorrent. And I've seen, and I have to say this, I have seen people suffer for false allegations of this nature. I've seen people being associated falsely for this sort of thing. I mean, if you're guilty, well, you can burn in hell. But if you've got nothing to do with it, I think it's unforgivable.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Like, if you did not do it,
and you're far removed.
It's the same punishment. You done it or you haven't done it.
No,
I cannot use that word on your stream, but you just your life out completely. Like, this are being given to this whole. I mean, I'm not saying the act is raping is something we should not condone it, but again, if it's not true, that thing is just keep destroying a lot of men's lives at this point. I have a lot of friends that, not a lot of them, but I have two friends that have their life completely destroyed because of allegations. But again, me when I read this, sorry, Bobby, finish.
So I'll be really quick. I know there's the race angle to it, which is abhorrent. The whole thing is just sickening, and I just hope, I don't think it's enough for the Mirror or whoever it was that posted that to claim ignorance. I think there must be an offensive penalty about this. And what another thing that disappoints me is the silence. I've made more noise about this where I've seen it. There are guys that posted it because I went off the back of the people that posted it in the first place. But the lack of annoyance in the posting, I mean, we abuse and insult footballers for missing a penalty. And yet people almost joke about this sort of thing. And I just think, we're all football fans, we're all guys. We know how damaging this can be. And I'm disappointed in the lack of tweets, retweets, and attacks on this, which I'm sure if it was in high numbers would get somebody looking for legal action, because this is what it deserves. No more, no less. They've got to take these people to court.
You know what, Bobby? They issued an apology because it's a website that is affiliated with the Mirror, and they issued an apology, and the apology wasn't even to Mendy. The apology that they issued was to anybody who might have taken offence to this. You've just put a man's picture and associated him with rape. You don't even have the decency to apologise to him. It was just a random apology. We
don't know. They could have reached out. They could have reached out and said something. I don't know. I'm not going to say.
No, we would know, Couch. You don't hide these things.
To Mendy?
Couch, if you see where this has destroyed somebody's life, I know a man till today can barely leave his house because of an allegation for something he had absolutely nothing to do with. I know this hasn't got to that, but putting that imagery and the underlying issue, oh man, it's horrible. Would you like to see your picture associated with that kind of garbage?
Dude, trust me, that was the number one. It's such an abhorrent charge too. And you're walking and I think Max said it best too. It's like you're walking with that. Non-football fans that can't tell the difference. His name's just Mendy. His face is what they're going to remember. They're not going to remember, oh, well, that was a misunderstanding there. They're just going to remember the image of seeing Mendy, the goalie from Chelsea, as this charged or, with allegations of rape, and I agree with you. It's disgusting. And, it's not, but here's what I say. I don't take this as just some sort of blind ignorance thing. Oh, we made a mistake, because it happens too often. And not just in the UK, it happens all over the world. We see these types of things. I see it in basketball. I saw an image of LeBron James with a girl being likened to a King Kong and Jane. This is on Vogue. These things
I remember that
all
one.
the time. You know what I mean? It's
I remember that one, sexualization of a blonde woman. I remember that. When LeBron James, there was a picture, some photographer want to show the King Kong. Anyways, my point is this. First, when I saw the publication, I wasn't really outraged at all. I was just I think we are in a society where we can accept people making mistakes. That was my first interpretation of it. But then I was trying to find if there's any apologies and any official apologies. Then I cannot see anything really. Because the fact is, rape and sexual assault and all those type of assault against women reach a certain proportion in our society today that when you're accused of it, you just don't have a life after that. And even the police officer that knows, they investigate all those things, they just don't want to help you. You've been accused of it, deal with the justice system. They're not going to do any investigation. They're not going to go deep. And from that, the society will judge you. Your worker will judge you. Everybody around you will judge you without even trying to look at the fact of the investigation. It's just the fact that you've been associated with that type of crime that our society right now thinking that's one of the worst. So for them to just associate someone image to it, I will at least expect them to come out and say sexual assault is those type of criminal assault are the worst of this society, and what we've done to Mendy is something we regret a lot, and we will next time make sure that those things have not happen again. I was looking for something like that, but I haven't seen it, and that makes me more angry because what? It's because Mendy is a black man that he doesn't deserve that much of apology or some sort of official apology. Then he had to accept it. And then when you go in that line, you keep getting frustrated. Then it becomes a cycle. You just like the same thing, same old. When it is a black, nobody cares. It's just life.
Yeah, Boogeyman, I know you guys are from Canada. I know you and Couch are from Canada. Do you remember a runner, athlete, Ben Johnson?
Of course.
Canadian.
He became Jamaican.
Yeah, Ben
he became
Johnson.
Jamaican, right?
Yeah,
As soon as
that's right. Yeah, he was a Canadian nationalist, and everyone's like, fantastic. When he got done for drugs, all of a sudden the Canadian bit dropped, and he became a Jamaican in the press. Yeah.
Exactly. He became Jamaican so quick. They forgot about how many races he won for them. And it's like, yo, man, this Jamaican guy.
There took a couple of things I want to say about this. One of them, Bobby, you guys will remember. Bobby, you, Max, and even more. I don't know whether you guys in the United States or Canada will remember this. But do you guys remember when West Ham have so many black players, Nigel Riakoko, Anton Ferdinand, and then Bobby Zamora? Yep. When the newspaper used to call them the Bling Bling Squad.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
When they were putting they labeled them because of the Africans and Caribbean kids who have money, drive nice cars, live well. Yeah, they call them the Bling Bling Squad, and they blame them for everything that was going on at West Ham, even though they were doing well. But they were said they were bad. Is it bad apple or bad whatever it is? And another thing that saddened me when I saw this, it bring back like things that happened in Manchester here, in Moorside. It's an Afro-Caribbean society, community there. They're very successful business owners there, okay? But the area, media made it look like it's a crime-infested area, which is a lie. The crime-infested area in Manchester is Salford. Is the area that have 98% white. But the place with 50% black or 40% black automatically become the crime infested. So Rio Ferdinand and most of the black players, whether it's Eric Jemba, they all used to go and use the barber shops there, and that's where they used to go. And even like when they want to go like clubbing or Jamaican foods or whatever, that's where they used to go. So when he failed the drug test, you know what the Manchester Evening News said here? They said he's always at Moorside. Maybe that's why he didn't want to do the drug test. There was a rumor that he was smoking weed. That's why he was going to Moorside to do drugs. What was the connotation about that? Because it was a black area of the city. So these things, you know, like it's crazy, but it's been going on for ages. That's the main newspaper in Manchester, and other newspapers pick it up. Rumors start going around to say maybe he smoked weed, and you always see him at Moorside. That's what they said. The locals said they always see him there. Even his barber shop is there. That's where he goes for his Caribbean meal. So what does Moorside got to do with smoking weed? Do white people not smoke weed? Do Asian people not smoke weed? Do Arab not smoke weed? Everybody smoke weed. What does Moorside got to do with weed smoking? Because a black guy... No, I don't mean that. When I mean, why associate it? I've never smoked. Why associate it with an area like that? Automatically, Rio Ferdinand missing a drug test is associated with Moorside.
Yeah, Ferdinand,
you know, this has been going on. It's been going on.
Stereotypes. That's one of the biggest. Sorry, Boogeyman. One of the biggest problems that we have in society today is stereotypes. And the thing is this. What annoys me about the Mendy post, I'll call it a post. What annoys me about the Mendy post is you don't have to know the face of the man to know you're posting the wrong image. I may not know what Benjamin Mendy or what Edward Mendy looks like, but I, you know, if I'm a journalist and I'm posting a story about sports, I can tell that's a Chelsea badge and not a Man City badge. I can tell he's
a goalkeeper, not a defender.
Goalkeeper, not a defender. He's wearing gloves.
This is exactly why I don't think this is done accidentally. Like this is precisely why I don't think this is accidental, because it happens all the time too.
Yeah.
No, that's the.
I think that's a mistake. that's the problem I have with it. You know, I could excuse a mistake. No problems. Human beings make mistakes, but this is such, you know, it's such a, you know, a stupid thing to have been done by a sports journalist who doesn't know what, you know, what a goalkeeper looks like. The man's wearing gloves.
Now, the people that posted, they don't even know much about football or the soccer we call it here, but they don't know that much about the teams. They're just journalists. They can write grammatically correct, vocabulary correct, but other than that, they don't know too much about it. And me, I excuse them, but it's just the way the apology was structured. That's the thing that I didn't like too much because of the importance given to that subject, like the rapes and all the things in our society. So they should at least come out better than that, make a strong statement, and not just if they offended someone. No, they offended all of us. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. Couch, I know you have to go, my friend. Take care of yourself, and I will see you possibly the day after tomorrow. We'll be streaming again the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, but let me say something. Yeah. Let me say something. Over this, I will find it too much if someone gets fired. Like, I just don't think it reached that point because I can see them mistaking it. Like, if I heard like the journalist,
if I was running a newspaper and one of my journalists made a blunder like that, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm firing him straight away.
Yeah, he doesn't work.
No, my point, what I said before as well, is you don't just put it out there. It's got to go through certain steps before it goes out.
Filters.
There, you know, yeah, exactly. So it's a case of, was it online or was it a newspaper publication?
No, it's online.
Yeah, online. I'm a bit with Boogerman. If it was online, then it's slightly different with online because sometimes it's not like a press thing where you have to go through before it goes to print in the first place. You know, but it still should be checked. That's why you need to have a peer review. It's important. Like when we're putting things out online, we always have to have a peer review so that, you know, have I done the right thing? Is this thing? So then you check. Hold on a minute. You're talking about a Chelsea player. A Man City player here, but he's got even if the other person who's doing the review looks at it and thinking, no, that's not right because he's got a Chelsea shirt on or something like that. Have you checked the picture? Sort of thing. Yeah. And if they're meant to be doing this sports area, I'm in the wrong job. You know what? I should go and become a social media football expert for the Mirror or something, because obviously I better pick out what Mendy's or the difference between Benjamin and Edward.
The thing is, Max, the excuse that they made was the picture was labelled wrongly. So the picture was labelled Benjamin Mendy rather than Edward Mendy, and apparently they have rights to publish certain pictures. So when it came to that article, what pictures they have available to them, and you know these are the pictures. So he picked that one and he stuck it on there. But even that doesn't make any sense to me because if they have a list of Benjamin Mendy, then I'm sure all of those pictures would be Benjamin Mendy, and they might have had one picture in there by mistake, and that's the one that he picks. It's a little bit.
Yeah, but that's what I keep saying. The mistake can still happen. Cause like I'm going to be a little racist here. There's a bunch of white dudes.
No, don't be a little bit racist. Don't be any racist. Don't be any racist.
There's a bunch of white dudes. They know how to write and they know how to do all those things faster. They're just trying to write a paper and they want to beat the next publisher or whatever.
Yeah, they want to get out before everyone else does. Yeah,
exactly. So they're a bunch of white dudes. They don't know too much about the football. Even if they know, they just support a second division team in where they live. So they're not too much into too much detail. They find it. It was a Mendy. They put a picture. They put it there and they send it out. So, but the problem for me, let's say it wasn't about rape. It was about Mendy.
Boogeyman, I'm gonna have to stop you. I don't care what it was about. It was something negative. It could have been he stole a packet of sweets from Tesco's.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about.
The point I'm trying to make is this. If you're a journalist, working for one of the biggest tabloids in the UK, you need to be able to distinguish between a Chelsea badge and a Man City badge, between a goalkeeper's uniform and an outfield player's uniform. Okay,
Can I ask you a question?
I don't care if he's white, black, or whatever. The
Can I
player.
ask you a question?
Go.
You know how you load a picture on the internet? So you can also load a picture by just the name. A lot of software, you just tap Mendy and just you load it. Then when you load it, when you deploy it, that's when the picture will show. Sometimes you just have small pictures and it doesn't show you who is in it. You just tap, okay, I'm looking for a Mendy. My point is, the mistake is possible. I can make the same mistake. My problem is today.
I can make that mistake. Max can make that mistake. Yeah, but not a person who's being paid, thousands of pounds to work as a journalist. I mean, I could have the wrong player on my thumbnail. That can happen.
I think what we're missing here is two things. One, the fact that they're trying to explain it away with some BS about this picture, that picture, and the other picture shows that they are lying. And if you come out and just say, look, somebody did this out of mistake and we will deal with it, is better than lying. And two, what kind of mistake is that? I mean, there's negligence and there is gross negligence. This is gross negligence. You are pinning a photograph of a human being and captioning it with an allegation that is not only criminal, but is quite abhorrent. I just think that's inexcusable. And I just think an apology is not enough. At the very least, whoever posted that, I know they will never do it, deserves to be exposed as much as they have exposed Edouard Mendy. You don't forget, it's not just him that might see that. This man has a family. He has friends, he has relatives, he has people that know him. There's some people that may not even understand that was a mistake, even if it's in the short term. It's the embarrassment is not worth happening to this man. That's the point I'm making. And I don't think it should just be swept under the carpet. Somebody should make some noise about it. Because if it was another topic with another group of people or persons, they won't let it go that easily. We shouldn't be looking for an excuse for these guys. It is, if it must be
Bobby,
called.
You hit the nail on the head when you said nobody's even tweeted about this or talked about this. Do you know how I found out about this? I was preparing my stream and I asked, what topics do you guys want to talk about today? And then Couch said to me, let's talk about the allegation or the publication about Mendy. And I'm like, Mendy, what's up with Mendy? What's happened? So Couch had to send me the report because there wasn't enough information out there. Unless I was actually looking for it, I would not have found it.
It was
I got it through.
It was a lot on my timeline.
There wasn't enough. No. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough for me to miss it. For me to have missed it, there was not enough. Okay?
I didn't say. Although I haven't been on social media a lot today, to be honest. So, yeah.
It was Yannick and Johnny Minerals I picked it off from, and I thought, what's this? And at first I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this? And I looked and I thought, oh no, this isn't acceptable.
I mean, yeah, I also got it from Couch.
Yeah. I think, I mean, to be fair, the race angle is there, and I really appreciate that. But for me, the first thing is the accusation. The connotations of accusation to an innocent person is what shocks me the most. I'm not negating the racial issue because that's still a massive issue, as we know with the whole cricket investigations and so on. It's still not over yet, and it needs to be over. But this is on another level. This is another issue. You are labeling an innocent man. That's wrong.
Listen,
that can never
if that
be
happened to me, if there's a picture of me and as for alleged rape, could have been Richard Burton, but they used Max Burton instead, I would be livid to see my picture associated with something like that. Yeah.
No, 100%.
Just
you're right there, because you know what? When I was about 10 years ago, my young cousin came from France to study here, He was a third-year student studying economics. So he has this on and off girlfriend. So he was a player, okay, on and off girlfriend. So one day the girl was upset with him, and he accused him of rape, and he was arrested. But because of he's a French citizen, and the stupid guy called me, I told him to shut his gob and get him a lawyer. He was pissed when we get there. He told him, I don't care anyway. I didn't do anything. Whatever you guys were. After this course, I'm going back home. He was remanded for 6 months. And then when we went to court, the case started. That's when apparently the police, they have the evidence that he was innocent all along because they went through their mobile phones. So that's when the evidence come out to say she was pissed off. She was upset. She was upset with him. And that's why she did it. The texts were there and everything. So imagine this guy was remanded for 6 months in prison.
What happened to the girl?
What does that mean?
Nothing.
What is that
No, that's where the issue is.
Nothing.
And
then guess what?
That's what's wrong.
Because of the this is my cousin. This is my cousin. Because of the embarrassment, he won't even come and see my wife. Yeah. He left England without finishing his school. He's in France. The past 10 years, even when we go to France on holiday, he moved away from the family in Paris. Now he lives in Brittany. Even from his own family, he's cut all contact. Sheikh, we don't even know where he is right now. He's in France.
She should serve the same sentence as he did.
Exactly. I believe that fully. If you accuse somebody wrongly, you do the time that you wanted that person.
But it's never that way.
It doesn't go that way.
It's just crazy. Even in Canada here, my co-worker, he is also from Senegal. He is from Senegal. He was an international student coming here, and he was doing his apprentice, whatever you get called. In French, we call it stage. He was doing that with us, and with us. So for some reason, he was accused of sexual assault, forcible confinement, and criminal harassment. Sexual assault, forcible confinement, and criminal harassment. Yeah. So those are the 3 charges. And if I describe you what happened, you'll be like, what does that even mean? So he said they were sitting in a room. He invited this girl into the room. They're just chilling. And at one point, his phone rings, and he just went into the kitchen and talking to another girl. He's a player also. He's like, when I say player, not football player, but he is a player, play girl. So then he was doing something like that. And then the girl that he invited got mad, went home, and then when he was talking to his friend like, yeah, but did he touch you or anything? He's like, yeah, at the end of the day, we sit on the couch, and he touched my breast. And then after that, we'll enjoy ourselves. Then after that, he received a call from this girl, and he was asking me to leave because he has to do something. The reality is another girl is coming. So he knows for sure this girl is going to lead to something good. But I'm going to talk too much. Just go and we talk another day. She didn't like it. He was arrested. He was handcuffed in front of us the next morning. We were sitting at work. They came there. They charged him and handcuffed him, bring him to the detention. And then after he saw the judge and all, he was bailed out and all those things. So now he keeps saying, I'm going to sue the police because we did not do enough investigation, and you come at my work and just handcuff me and destroy my entire life. Because he said that in front of the police, even the lawyer he took, he just like, yo, listen, I will pay you, because he has the money. I will pay you everything, but I just want, after this whole thing, I just want to sue this justice system. Because what they did is crazy. They destroyed my life. So because of that, after that, the prosecutor tell you, okay, we're going to give you a deal. You just plead guilty for a minor assault, and then we forget about everything. It's nothing. Minor assault is nothing. But the thing is, if we take minor assault, he cannot go to US anymore. That's how we go.
Because it's a mark on your record. It's a mark on your record.
Yeah, exactly. Probably you cannot do much. Yeah. So then he said, no, I'm not playing guilty for anything. I want this thing to go all the way to the court. And so they drag it. The entire system drag everything. They drag it. At the end, he was found not guilty, of course, but he was out of the statute of limitation to even pressure to go after the police or anything. Everything is just like that now. Now he has to go back to Senegal in Africa. He's back to his home country because he's so frustrated with life. we're lucky that he didn't kill himself. And the girl that did all those to her, he's still in Canada here. I see him sometime in grocery store with her kids. Relax, no problem.
No, listen. This topic, this situation, it's one of those that divides legal systems, divides societies, divides cultures. We will never be able to unify society and culture to think in one particular manner. But one thing that does need to be addressed is if you are accused of something, because whatever crime you commit, if you're accused of it, then you're innocent until proven guilty. Apart from this one. It's different.
The society already judged you. You just out.
And maybe because we all believe that this crime is very dangerous and has a massive impact, that we are extra careful when it comes to it. But at the same time, we don't seem to be using that extra careful aspect, keeping into account that the victim in this case could be the man. But again, it's one of those things that I said. It's very complicated. Listen, people, this has been a stream that has covered many topics. Hopefully, within the next couple of days, we will start to move towards the Premier League season, kick it off again. We'll play against Leicester City. We will be doing a match preview Friday evening. We'll be doing a pre-match video, pre-match stream on Thursday. So we're taking tomorrow off, and then we're back again on Thursday. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream, and if you have enjoyed it, do us a favor and hit that like one. I don't even know how many likes we've had. 61 likes. Wow. Not being an enjoyable stream then, huh, guys? 61 of you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Who are back?
Answer why people found out the boogeyman plays golf. That's why people don't like it. You see in the back of his room, there's a golf clubs.
I play golf?
Yeah, there's a golf club behind you.
Oh, you can see. Yeah. I'll move my computer.
People found out. People found out that you play golf, so they start disrespecting you.
Oh my word! He's too old. He's a posh guy, is he?
Yeah. He's posh.
Yeah. Look, I heard that Lukaku and Werner are back, right?
No, Lukaku is Werner.
Lukaku's back.
Werner may be back soon, but he won't be back for Leicester.
Sorry,
don't know about Kovačić. We'll find out.
Kovačić and what's his name?
We're not in training. I have a complaint. about Boogeyman.
Me too.
Because I just found out today that he has a Senegalese friend. That's why he's always winding me up about Senegal, always mentioning these Senegalese players, whether it's Mendy or Sane. I don't care. Now I'm even more mad now. So this is the thing. Because of your Senegalese friend, you're picking on me.
No, I have nothing to do with it. That's my nature. I just pick on everybody. No, but seriously, so other than the two, Kai Havertz is not injured, right? I think we have pretty much everybody back.
Kai played the other day. Which
Alex, when you're not talking, please have your mic on mute because I'm getting a lot of background audio. Go on, Bobby. Yeah, Boogie.
No, I just want to see who is still injured. We have the CP10 back. Only Kovačić. If I'm
and Werner.
Listen, we're not going to know. We're not going to know because people are returning from international duty. We're going to find out when Tuchel addresses us on Friday afternoon. So we'll know. I mean, it looks like it's only a couple, but we'll find out.
Can Mount speak it?
Mount can. He's training today. He was back on the pitch training.
Did you see that video of him after his operation? Did you see that video after the operation?
I did.
Mount went to surgery?
Yeah, this wisdom.
Yeah, we call it surgery nowadays for pulling a tooth.
Oh.
Alex, Alex, is Pulisic starting today for US? Because the match just kick off. I missed the lineup.
No, it's going to be 9 o'clock. Oh, 7 o'clock.
No, it started. I think, the game.
No.
They're playing.
Is this? Is he
Jamaica,
playing? Is Pulisic playing?
He played 20 minutes for the against.
He came off the bench the other day. He came off the bench and scored the other day.
No, I mean today. No, I watched that one. I mean today. Is he playing? Is he starting?
Hold on, MGT.
What time does it start?
I think it's 7. Oh, it's 4 minutes already.
It's 0-0, and Pulisic, is he in the lineup?
It's on the.
No, he's on the bench. He's on the bench.
Brilliant.
That's good.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So,
That's good.
The other thing is, has anyone here heard about Barcelona trying to get Pulisic and
Yes. Let's wait. We have to leave some content for the video on Thursday. Relax, guys.
I have something. I have something to say about that one. You guys gonna Bobby and Max gonna be mad, but there's a theory behind what Barcelona want to do, and you guys wait until we talk about it. I will tell you guys. Then.
Yeah. Apparently, listen. I mean, I can drop a bomb right now and say Erling Haaland looks like he's coming to Chelsea as well. So we're gonna wait until Thursday.
I will not pass that actually.
Yeah, wait until Thursday. There's a lot.
Because
There's a lot to talk about.
Roman is actually personally was interested in it. I saw it on the news, Russian news before.
Alex, Thursday. All right, people. I'll see you all on
Alex,
Thursday. Have a good night.
Alex,
Take
speak
care.
to your mate Roman and tell him to get it done. Yeah?
Give him a call. Peace, guys. Good night.
Okay, thanks.